What is it? Fangs and fur? Really reminds me of that.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a Y choose or a MMF? Like, because that would make the difference if I read it or not.
I don't know, Carl.
It is all over the place in that particular, because essentially is.
Are you really
That's how I
recommending this or
describe
not?
Well, the thing is, like, she gets offered like a contract to essentially help produce ambrosia for these fallen gods, and because that's okay, because of this a golden contract, you get our best caller. The problem is that it's currently in contested position.
Politics, big gods.
How do I sound? Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, yeah.
Good.
Okay, Witchblade. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Cool. What are you guys talking about?
The comic book series of fine print.
Yeah.
Spicy,
Very
contract.
spicy comic books, apparently.
Super spicy.
More smut?
Yeah, but is it like spice for the spice, or does it actually have like a good story with it?
It's got a very good story in it.
So not just spice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus.
Yeah, think more like Dune spice, not like.
Yeah. Well, one of the main reasons that the quote unquote high collar position is a contestant is because the previous high collar got a golden contract, essentially with someone who's asexual. So he's currently trapped in that contract.
That sounds boring.
And cannot fulfill it. And so you find out later, oh, he actually did fulfill it. He just didn't bother going back.
Interesting.
Damn, they don't have it at the library.
Like, I'm not buying that.
No, it's not a not buying it. It's a, if I can get it for taxes already paid, I'll get it there first.
You know,
If you want, I can loan you my copies to read.
yeah,
There we go.
I appreciate it, but I am really rough on books, so I don't borrow books. But I appreciate it.
I would make a comment about being rough on a spicy book.
No, not even like that.
Sylvia Russia spicy book is rough on
without
you?
trying.
Let's see here. Well, I'm glad everybody's doing pretty good. I don't know if I got a cold or what, but I will do my best stream and you guys to mute myself whenever I need to sniffle or blow my nose here. But yeah, I doped up on some cough medicine and hopefully I'll be all right in a few days.
What a trooper! Thank you, Brent.
I know, right? Just my life's so hard.
Another one of his graphic novels he did for Harley Quinn.
I'm
Yeah, those ones they
contaminated.
have at the library. You're contaminated?
Yes.
And I suppose it's good that we're doing this over the internet as
Bro.
opposed to in person. Then,
In the disco.
Wrong
as much as we miss seeing your face in person.
I know. I'm a seldom seen guy these days. Just so busy, you know. Like 2024 was really busy. 2025 is starting out kind of busy. We'll see what happens around springtime, spring break.
Oh God, you
Get out.
you're
outside.
telling me I'm going from maybe most of the things last year for me were unexpected. A lot of the things coming up are expected, but no less busy. I got both of my sisters are getting married, and I'm gonna have to go to both of those. Which happy to do so, but a lot of work, a lot of busy for the family.
I bet.
Yeah.
You're in the wedding party for both, aren't you, Doran?
I am technically I am helping with the first. I am one of the groomsmen in the second.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah. But I am not as much part of the planning though, which I have been luckily spared, mostly because I'm pretty sure I would have no idea how to help.
And I'm gonna need a bigger sheet for all these tokens.
There's so many important people, and there's only gonna be more.
Yes.
Don't worry, Brent. We'll work through them. Just give us some
Yeah,
time.
just kill a few off.
That took me a little longer than I thought to get, but yeah, oh boy.
All right, that's good enough. All right, we got the. Wait a minute. Okay, there's the other dwarf. Wait, where's Oh, there he is. Reginald, get over here.
Yep.
All right, that's good enough. Okie dokie. And do we got? Yeah, we got River up here. Cool. Trying to think. I don't think you guys have met really any other really important people. You know what? I'm gonna put.
I don't know. I like the guy at the Red Lion Hotel because he made good on his bet. He's a pretty cool guy.
Oh, did we collect our money for that yet? Oh, but it didn't happen yet, right?
Not the one for old Zoya. That one hasn't happened.
Oh, okay.
The other bet.
Yeah.
I was like, where's my money?
I'm liking Koo more and more every day.
Yeah, that was totally Koo, not Tinu.
We'll get there. It just takes time. It's fine.
Here we go. Put the dog on here. Where's Doggo? All right.
Venus. Poor Venus.
I'm next to Alex.
Oh, if you're putting NPCs, you can put Yanis there too, but you don't have to. That's
No, Yanis is on here. He's all right over there.
Oh yeah, there he is. All right.
He's in the corner, chilling out.
Down near the Iron Helms.
Yes. And, but all right. Welcome to another session of Dungeons of Drakkenheim. Brr, spooky. And we are hot off the trail here of one of our missions here to negotiate a new contract with the Iron Helm dwarves. And after a long night shift, you guys successfully did that, and of course you linked up with River afterwards. But who wants to give us a recap of like the most important details here?
I always love giving recaps, and I don't think I got to give one my last session. Or maybe I did. I can't remember. But
there wasn't much to give last session, so.
Yeah, it's true. It's mostly fighting. But this session was a little more interesting. Oh, yes!
Oh, do you want to do it? Can I
No.
do it in case I need inspiration?
Yeah, if you want inspo, for no particular reason, Koo, you are more than welcome.
Expect this session to be, more plotting and planning and RPing, but, there's chance, of course, to some skill checks.
So, we saved Mordecai. He's missing an arm. They saved the base. We came back. They were able to stabilize Mordecai, and the dwarves decided to do the contract. What's her name again? Gertrude.
Yes.
Was able to talk us out of it. Talk them of leaving the Knifebites out of the contract, so they can't. So we're not like in their beck and call. Because she kind of admitted like, hey, thanks for helping us, and I will do this for you guys. So then we took it back to town. We decided, because we're crazy, after trekking, to go to River. We went to River. She had cookies, and it was odd. And then come to find out, she can teleport. She took the contract. She rewarded us. We took the saw that can saw through any physical material. No, wood, cement, metal. Was that it?
Stone as well, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. So we took that item, and then she took us to that place. I forgot what it's called.
Eckerman
Eckerman Mill.
Mill. Thanks. And honestly, I meant to ask her last time. I thought it was weird that she wanted to meet here. Like, why here? But anyways, that's cool. So we get there, and she takes us inside. It's like this place that's like kind of like graffitied, and you could tell like people came and stayed there, and they left some stuff there or whatever. And then if you go inside, there was like people would leave their quote unquote markings, like, hey, we made it out this far. So she asked if we wanted to leave something. Tinu did, and then she talked to us about. I forgot what she talked to us about, you guys. Or did we end there? I think we were starting to talk about
Yeah, the Lord Dump's coming. Yeah, like the important stuff that she's gonna talk about.
yeah, but we hadn't
Yeah.
we were just starting to talk about it.
True.
I have written a rather frank conversation begins with River about the direction of Drakkenheim.
Yeah. So we didn't actually like talk yet. That's probably why I don't remember anything specific.
Got it. Okay. I'm trying to think. I think that is about the notable stuff here at the moment. Oh, the Ironhelm dwarves did mention that they're willing to train you on some firearm usage if you guys are interested in doing such. And they would have told you that if you're interested in doing such, you can hitch a ride with them at 9 a.m. In the morning over to the Scar to do such. But, you know, you're going to be stuck there all day until 9 p.m. until they come back. Or the next, you know, the group decides to come back. But they're more than willing to do that on downtime days.
I totally scratched that out of my head because when I remember you telling us that and Ku brain going, oh, but we could learn that from Louis. It's not important.
Yeah, they. If we look at our accelerated rules for learning stuff, they may have a better chance of teaching you guys stuff in due
PC
time.
might be lower.
Yeah.
And
you're
we're
not
both
as good, Louis.
Well, I have to spend my downtime days with you to train you.
True, and there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You know, and only one of Loey, so you know, maybe some cost benefit there. But yes, so we are still on Springtide, the 19th of Springtide, and we completed one of our missions here, and we're making some headway a little bit here with the Amethyst Academy, with completing that mission. Okay. So, I was gonna see if I can. I'm gonna do it real quick. I'm gonna create that soft cutting in D&D Beyond.
Do it.
You guys can talk about something. Get your bearings straight while I put this in.
We're just gonna sit here and listen to you breathe.
Okay.
Why are you taking so long? It's like you're trying to put a key into a lock or something. Oh my gosh,
Breathe
Brent, hurry up.
I can't
Sneeze
hear
for
it.
us.
Breathe louder.
By the way, I was gonna say this. Cool. We really got to make your spoon thing into a channel emote. I want it. I gotta have it, man. It's
Yeah.
That would be a good emote though. It's too
we
there's
make
no detail.
Could we make a spoon emote in general?
Just the spoon.
Oh, I already have like multiple spoons. Oh, but
Well,
they're
they're
not
not
for
on-
like.
But not channel emotes.
Yeah. I don't have control over that.
Yeah.
We need it. So something else for Brent to do while we listen to him breathe.
Yeah, Brent.
And I know I might breathe it through my mouth too because I'm all stuffed up. Perfect ambience, you know, good ASMR right there.
It really sets the tone of this place.
Yes. Look out!
Or it's one of the husks
So,
we missed.
I have a question for all of you as people who like to roleplay and develop their characters. We can have this discussion. So when you initially create your character, right, you have these set goals and plans, right?
Yeah.
But then as you play Dungeons and Dragons, your character develops, correct?
Yes.
Usually.
So
hopefully.
would you change the past to justify the changes that have happened? Or would you try to justify the changes based on what you know now?
I don't fully understand the question.
So, like, let's say when Tinu was 1, she hated chocolate. But then, she doesn't like spoons. But all of a sudden, now that we're playing D&D, I love spoons. Would you change the history? Would you change your character? Or would you justify it by adding something?
Well, the advantage of flashbacks and prior stories, when you work from conclusion, is that you have a lot of freedom as both an author and as a player to write whatever you want in terms of fiction to justify the conclusion that you're already at. In fact, if I remember right, that's how they actually came up with the story, if anybody has heard of it. Brick was they got to the they knew where they wanted to go, and they worked backwards from there to design the mystery of finding the titular title, the Brick. So yeah, technically, it's all up to you.
I would
I also
try.
think that-
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, you guys do that.
I was just gonna say that I think there's some amount of discovering your character that even though you may have been like, oh yeah, I'm making this character and I think she's not gonna like spoons and she doesn't like chocolate, but as you're playing your character you realize actually that's, you know, not how she ever was. So I think it depends if you're really set on keeping that or not. Like, you know, with Enna, I was set on her being like quiet and not confrontational. But I realized as I played her, I'm like, actually, that's not how she is at all. Right? So I think it depends if you're set on what you've written, or if discovering the character you find out that was not correct.
Okay,
I don't know.
and then
I don't know if this
oh,
is
go
good,
ahead,
but
go ahead.
my own. One of the things that's interesting about Dungeons and Dragons is it is very much a story setting, and the thing about stories is that it invites change. Like even in this world, 90%. There's a lot of people that kind of just do their day to day, but specifically, our characters are doing the Lord of the Rings style quest, the JRPG style quest, the Bram Stoker Dracula style quest, and that usually implies like pressure and force. So having someone what they were like in their normal life is completely fine, but then now they're in this usually very strange or the situation that requires a lot from them. So adjusting and reacting differently to the situation compared to how do you react when you're fighting a bunch of zombies or dealing with political situations as opposed to when you are reading books and in class is still appropriate. You can people are allowed to have different reactions to different things and still be similar. Just discovering more about yourself.
So now that we've set the basis, this is the actual question. So for your character that you're playing in this campaign, what is something that you had originally planned for your character but now has changed as we've been playing? Hey, look at me, conversation starter.
No, these are good.
I was convinced that going in, this character would have no romantic interests.
That's interesting.
But then Blackjack Mel showed up. Yeah.
I will skin you alive, Kala.
I'm joking.
Yo, whoa.
Look at that face. It's a face to love right there. Look at that.
Now you just have to do it just for the memes. Sorry, Kaylee. I apologize.
No, that's okay. That'll be our in, is somehow through that. I don't know.
Romantic subplot? What the hell? Alright.
I will say, I think for Torn, and this is actually for a number of characters, because it might just be me leaking through, because I've had multiple times, I've had characters who try to be a bit, also, with Torn specifically, a bit more, very kind of a belligerent character, maybe a bit very angry, but I somehow find myself kind of trying to lead, being more dealing more with peaceful negotiations between these different groups and trying to be somewhat responsible, which was not I don't think it was the intent at all. I mean, tell me if I'm completely off base here. That's just what I'm getting out of it.
No, he feels like that to me.
Yeah.
He definitely feels different than Styr.
Yeah, but I would say like Tor, like with the stuff with like the church and the falling fire, and even with the Green Lanterns and stuff, Torn at conception was not the person who'd be going up. It's like, okay, here's what we need to do with these guys, and maybe we shouldn't be screaming how much we don't like them and want to screw things over, and how much this leader or that person's a stinky butthead. But somehow that's kind of where the character's ending up, and honestly, they're kind of what I was talking before. That I can think of some reasons as to why that I'm not going to reveal here, but
I feel like with everything that as everything that we've heard and seen, it makes sense. Like nothing has felt like out of place, so I think it's okay.
I can give you an easy one and a hard one. The easy one, I did not expect Louis to be as a-religious as he is, but I'm interested in the direction that the path is going, and that was kind of discovered in the game. And the harder one was, I did not expect to find this subplot in Louis' past and to swear a vendetta, but I am totally here for it, so. That was completely out of it. But I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the surprises our illustrious DM is not obviously writing right now, and other things that may or may not be happening at the beginning of the session.
Well, we're going to discover a bit more about Tinu here. This story time venture is probably going to take, like we did with Alice, a couple sessions to go ahead and get through. So we're going to do the first part of this. But to answer your question, though, as a story develops in a game, does my character more adjust to the facts on the ground, or does my character, or do I try to stick to whatever initial premise that I have? I mean, I feel like, your character should evolve, and as you get more information, even background information on a character, I think you should feel free to adjust your character as you see fit to make these components come together. And as more information gets revealed about a given character, I feel like you should be excited. It adds more opportunity to explore maybe different values and principles and things that a character has going on. I'm thinking about, I got two other characters I'm playing right now. I have, of course, Dag and Alex's game. What's up, Alex? I know he pipes in here sometimes. That character's been pretty the same from the beginning of that campaign. And we're level 13 now. But there has been things that happened, I guess, in-game that has changed, I guess, that character's mind about certain things. But I don't think really fundamentally changed that character. Then there's the Curse of Strahd game that we play on Thursdays here with Alice, a.k.a. Dice, a.k.a. Green, who's running that game. You can check out those there on our YouTube channel. They're listed under Season 3 if you haven't seen them. They're really cool. We're in Ravenloft right now, scurrying around like rats. I'm thinking, has that character come across anything that needed a massive change thus far? I think that my Necromancer in that campaign is moving in a direction that would, I think, realign some assumptions maybe I made at the beginning. I think that Otis Bauer as a character was always more interested in finding, escaping whatever situation or lifestyle he was in and finding some other place to be in, and becoming adept with necromancy and magic because of really complicated reasons seemed to be his path there. But as we go on, I feel like his character is evolving towards being more independent, I think, of the initial things that maybe he held on to in the beginning of the game. I feel like a big moment for that character was when his skull shattered, his Wilson skull, because it really made him realize, like, wait a minute, like, without that thing driving him, who is he really? You know, what does really matter to him? But we're gonna see as that storyline plays out. All right. Okay. So we're gonna start off this session with a little bit of hopping into the past here, and let's go ahead and go to our world map. Let's ground ourselves. And let's see. Zoom in for our stream here. Yeah, right about there. Okay. So Tinu, or Tinuville, if that's how you pronounce it. Tinuville? Tinuville?
I was Tinuville, yeah.
You were going to add something onto that before I kick off here?
Add what? I don't think so. I don't have anything to add.
All right, I thought you were going to say something else, but all right.
Oh, no. I'm ready.
So, Tinuville, you are 13 years old, and you are at this vast fortress known as Michael's Gate that spans the mighty Vita River in western Ilaria. It's been a few weeks since you've arrived, similar to when we hop back in time with Kalina here, and right now you find yourself in the same situation as your sister, sitting in a privacy booth made of polished mahogany wood. A large stained glass window dominates the wall near the booth and drapes you and the others sitting here in a kaleidoscope of colors. It's hard to tell where you are at in this labyrinth of a citadel. Occasionally you can hear church bells in the distance, though. And sitting next to you is Yolanda. If you remember, she was the Flamekeeper that escorted you from the Elvenmire to this strange place. Across from you is an old, scholarly-looking man. And there's also a young woman. She looks maybe to be in her late 20s. She has dark hair and a severe look. Lastly, standing near the booth, leaning against the edge of it, is a short woman, dressed in light armor and traveling clothes. She has long blonde hair that curls at its ends, and freckles sit under large, friendly green eyes. And she looks like she has to be maybe in her 30s or so. This is from the book, or one of the books. Now, there's someone else here in this space. Let me adjust this for our stream so everybody can kind of see what we're working with. Go. And that's good. There's someone else in this space. A bit away from the booth, standing in the shadows of a corner closest to the exit of this room. The figure is very tall and lanky. Their tunic barely hides their thin frame. And the face is that of a teenage boy, although he is like almost 6 feet tall. His eyes are, actually we'll say he's a little bit taller than 6 feet. Why not? His eyes are narrow and deep set under almost predatory eyebrows. Blue eyes stare at you unnervingly. If this is not uncomfortable enough, you've never seen someone with such a cold, expressionless face as this young gentleman. Unfortunately, as we'll see, you get to know this young man. But right now, he stands quietly in the corner, just watching you and this scene unfold. Yolanda, who sits next to you on this bench here in this kind of cubby, she says softly, "Tinaville." She gestures over to this Duchess Beatrice Atwood, and she says, "This is Duchess Beatrice Atwood. She's in charge of all the daily happenings here at Michael's Gate. And this is High Flamekeeper Norwood, who oversees those looking to become Flamekeepers. And lastly, this is Knight Captain Gloria Hackfield, one of the commanders of our company of Paladin Knights." Only Gloria smiles at you. Yolanda continues. "Your sister was here this morning, and we asked her some questions, and we would like to do the same with you, if you don't mind."
Okay.
You see Yolanda look over at the others sitting and gives them a nod, like, all right, let's get this show on the road. Norwood clears his throat. He glances at the others in the booth and flips to a page in a tome that he holds. He tilts his head down. You notice that he's wearing glasses, and he's kind of looking at you through the top of his glasses. And he says, "Miss Manel, your mother, how do you pronounce her name?"
I'm so sorry, Brad. I should have had it pulled up. Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine.
Hold on. Let me find
He
it.
goes, "Is it, Celia? Something like that, right? I think I got it right this time."
Yes. Yes,
All
you
right.
did.
And she is not from your clan of elves, correct?
I'm not sure. She's mom.
Well, your father, Aranor, brought her to the Elvenmire, from what we understand. Did he tell you this?
Yes,
Okay.
but I've never assumed that she came from somewhere else.
You see, he writes something down. Can you tell me about your mother? Did she tell you any stories of maybe where she could have been from?
Tino just looks at him weird. Why are you asking about my mom?
Well, we just want to get a nice bird's eye view of how you grew up, what you have come to understand. We know you've been through a lot. Refugees coming from Drakkenheim, and from what R&O, your father, told us, you and your sister were quite needed at that time because of some of the powers you exhibited. We just want to get an idea of where you come from. He smiles. Did your mother teach you common?
Yes.
And your brother, Anar? Excuse me. Anar?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about him?
He's my brother. He protects me and Kala.
Protects you? How has he protected you?
With his body, when people throw things at us.
Gloria kind of snorts a little bit, laughs. You see Norwood kind of like gives her a side eye. So you're saying you were bullied by those in your community?
I mean, she would say yes. I guess, yeah, yes. The
I see.
kids always make fun of us. And she kind of like tugs at her horn.
I bet that was difficult for you, considering you do have a striking different look compared to those you grew up around. Something that I'm pretty sure you were constantly made aware of. But you consider yourself an elf. You see, he raises an eyebrow.
Yes. That's
I
what
see.
Kala tells me.
Excuse me, guys. There we go. Coffee kind of fits this character. So your sister convinced you that you were an elf.
Am I not an elf?
Oh. You see, he kind of shifts uncomfortably. I don't mean to invalidate how you feel about yourself, but I'm sure, well, maybe not. Well, around Michael's Gate, you will encounter people who kind of look like yourselves, except with maybe two of the horn protrusions. And they would call themselves tieflings. Have you heard of this concept before? Other races, dwarfs.
Yes. I'm sorry, Brent. Out of character. I know Kala asked it before, but we have seen other tieflings before, right? I'm not sure at this point if we would have. Would we have?
You know what? Roll me a
Common.
percentile. I mean, tieflings are kind of common. You know, half elves are kind of common. Elves, not so much. Let's see.
38.
Sure. You recall a tiefling stumbling into your community, saying that they were from Drakkenheim and infected, sick.
Oh yeah. Then she'll say, yes, I've seen them.
I see. So, but you still proclaim to be an elf, more culturally than literally. I'm sorry, I may be using some big words here. Have you had any formal education in the Elven Maya?
No. My mom taught me, and Kala sometimes teaches me things.
I see. Was your mother well spoken?
Yeah, she knew words for everything.
Interesting. And she never told you or said that you may be a tiefling?
I don't think so. We've always, we're elves.
You see, he kind of breathes in heavily and exhales, and you know, he turns and kind of looks at this Beatrice Atwood, and, you know, they share a look. But if you want to roll an insight or something, I'll leave that on you.
Okay. Oh my god, if it was Tinu today, there's so much shit I want to say to them.
Let's talk about something a bit...
24.
24, okay. I'll give it to you whatever, you know, your current stats are.
Oh, I'm supposed to roll another one. I'm sorry, Brett.
It's fine, it's fine. She, the look is of almost a yikes. We have a predicament here to deal with. Your father told us that he goes to Aladria often. Escorting other elves from regions to ports on the coast and then across the ocean. Have you or your sister ever been there before?
No. We stay home and help with the chores when he goes on trips.
I see. Well, has your father ever told you about a tribal ritual practiced by elven shamans in Aladria? These folks call themselves Shadar Kai. Many elves in Aladria believe they can speak to their ancestors after death, and sometimes through dreams.
No. Should he have?
Well,
is it important?
Maybe so. This Beatrice Atwood pipes up and goes, from what we understand, more often than not, these rituals are tricks by nefarious creatures from across the veil, pretending to be the dead. Yes, Norwood says. Without proper guidance and the right rituals and incantations, it's hard to tell what type of creatures one can call from the depths. But he's never mentioned this practice to you, I see.
No, my dad doesn't. My pa doesn't practice magic.
Yes, I understand that. That he doesn't practice magic, but we're just seeing how close he is to what the elves refer to as the homeland. You know? We find it interesting that he never told you about your roots and Eladriel, but that's neither here nor there. There's all types of communities in Dysphoria that just never really have the chance to maybe make it whole or explore these concepts. And it doesn't sound like your community had a lot of formal education. But this stone you carry, the one that came to you in the dream, at least what Yolanda told us, your sister told the same. Can I look at yours?
You see Tinu kind of like, she kind of looks at him like, why? And then she'll like reluctantly like dig under her shirt and pull it out for him. But she doesn't take it off. She just like dangles it.
He smiles and he leans forward, and with shaky fingers, he grasps it. And while holding it, he closes his eyes and begins to say some type of prayer under his breath. And after a few minutes, he opens his eyes and looks at the others around him and shakes his head. Thank you, he says, and sits back. Can you tell me about this dream that you had? That, the one where you woke up and found this object?
So Kala was there. I saw her, and then there was, I don't know, there was a light? Some kind of light?
Go on.
And it would talk to us and tell us stories. And that night, I'm not sure, but we...
Did you have this...
Great. Sorry.
Do you have this dream more than once? You said it would tell you stories.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Out of character. I feel like I'm adding stuff to our story, and
That's
I know
the
you already
point.
said it's okay, but I'm saying sorry before I do it. Okay, so, I
Got this.
it came 2 times before.
You see they all sit up and lean forward and, like, listen intently.
We thought it was the stars, or Kala told me it was the stars. And then there was a light, and it said that it was the divine light, and it told us that we're special, and that we would help the world. And then Kala asked, what are we supposed to do? And then it said that to just keep going? That's how I understood it. And then it went away. And that was it. And then we woke up.
All right. Out of character, let me ask you this. Is this literally what you saw?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Google Doc. I can send it to you.
Yeah, we
No,
have
that's fine.
it written down.
I just want to make sure you're not trying to
help.
intentionally, like, bamboozle these folks here. Okay.
No,
That's fine.
I totally forgot about this document, and Kala sent it to me.
I thought it
But
might
yes.
help.
I'm telling the truth. From Tinu's point of view, as a kid, I'm telling the truth.
I also just sent it to you, Brent, if that helps.
Okay.
Thanks, Kala.
Interesting. You see, everybody sitting around here looks uncomfortable. Even Gloria kind of shifts on her feet. I want to show you something. It's a famous drawing, painting.
Okay.
You see he
Oh no.
flips to a page in his book and then turns it so you can see. I have a picture of this, but I just want to describe it for anybody just listening. This painting is fairly symbolic. It's set on a black background. And it's set on a black background. And there is a tunnel of drawn or painted on it, colored in shades of blue. The tunnel ends at some source of white light. There appears to be 5 humanoids in this painting. 2 are outside of the tunnel, in the black void, the background. 2 figures are in this blue tunnel, going towards the light. And 1 figure stands at the end of the tunnel, in the white light. You can barely see its figure. It looks like there might even be other things there. The figures in the black void appear to be a human female and some angelic humanoid with coal-colored wings. This dark angel holds on to this human female as if preventing her from entering this blue tunnel to the light. The 2 figures traveling in the blue tunnel appear to be a human female and another angelic humanoid with wings, but an ivory white color. The Angel of Light appears to be guiding this human female forward, deeper into the tunnel. And it looks something like this. Does this remind you of your dream?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't remember. It just was, Have you ever had a dream before, sir? It's like that.
Yes, and I've had dreams, and the most impactful parts I remember, the visuals. But the tunnel of light you saw, you're saying, looked nothing like this.
I just remember seeing a light. I don't know about the tunnel. Maybe it was there, but I don't remember.
You see, he relaxes a bit. And you notice that everybody else also kind of relaxes a bit. Very well. This is called Mystic Dirge's Ascension. The Mystic Dirge was a prophet that knew Saint Tarna and fought with her in the war against the evil Arcane Empire. Most acolytes learn about this pretty early in their studies, but we will catch you up. It's said that the divine light gave the Mystic Dirge the ability to see worlds that overlapped the mortal realm in their dreams. In its dreams, the Dirge's dreams. According to the holy text, the Dirge had a dream of Saint Tarna's spirit being torn in two by angels of the light, Michael and Gabriel. One piece of her soul fell into the light and the other the void. The third, when they awoken, told Tarna of this vision. And Tarna replied, I follow the stars to my final fate. And when that time comes, what happens with my soul will be decided by the light and its siblings, and I shall accept either. This scene here is often used to teach us that light and dark is in all of us. Only when we have done our duties as children of the divine light can we shed the darkness and cross into the afterworld, into purity.
Why didn't that other lady just go? She points to the one in the darkness.
It appears that this darker angel was holding her, preventing her.
Oh.
At least that's our interpretation. And this is a reproduction. The real version is quite a sight. Really big.
What if she didn't want her to go? Her arms look like she doesn't want her to go. And the dark one looks like it's going to hug her.
Well,
Wait, is the picture cut off like how it's cut off exactly here in the book?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
This
she
is the
would
only
say that,
picture
yes.
you've ever seen of this thing, yeah.
Yeah. So she would ask that, but yes.
Well, that's an interesting interpretation, Miss Manel. And something that we can go ahead and discuss. But I assure you, hundreds of flamekeepers and priests like ourselves have analyzed the great works of the Mystic Thurge. And we think we have it about right.
Oh. Well, if Kala told me that's what it was, I would believe her too.
We didn't show her this.
Oh. Why?
We wanted to go ahead and speak with you.
Why me?
Because both of you seem to be blessed in one way or another. And we thought it would be good to go ahead and get the story about this dream from both of you before looking into things like this. Gloria pipes up. She goes, do concepts like this frighten you?
No. Because I'm always with Kala. Until I came here.
Are you frightened that you're not with her right now?
A little bit, but Flamekeeper Yolanda's here.
Do you ever see yourself doing anything without her?
I steal cookies when I'm not supposed to. Kala doesn't know.
Understood. You should keep that a secret. You see, Atticus Norwood looks between you two, and he goes, well, I think that it'd be good to develop some independence. Tomorrow, you will begin your studies with, the Flamekeepers. Tinoville, under my direction. And, as we go along, I'm pretty sure you'll find your purpose here. For the first time, Norwood looks out of the booth and to the corner where this tall, lanky man stands. Thorn, please come forward. Almost like this teen's dark demeanor never existed, you see him quickly approach with a pleasant, welcoming smile on his face. He stands towering over the table, hands clasped in front of him. He looks at you, Tinu, and he smiles brightly. Norwood says, "This is Thorn Radley, our most talented of priests, and brother to High Paladin Uriel Radley, leader of the Silver Order. Divine inspiration runs in the family, like your family. Thorn knows very much what it's like to be chosen by the lights. How one has to be a model to fellow brothers and sisters of the faith. It's a lot of responsibility. And I'm sure he'll be able to give you some much needed welcoming and advice here. Thorn, please take Tidavir here to the mess hall. It's getting close to dinner time. Make sure we stay full here and content." You see, he looks at you, and he looks kind of like this. Except smiling.
Oh, he has a punchable face. Let's go.
"Yes, High Flame Keeper," Thorn says, and his voice is light, almost feminine. "I'll make sure she makes it there safely." He looks at you and gestures out a hand.
Are you coming with us, Flamekeeper Yolanda?
"I will be there shortly. We have some things we would like to go ahead and discuss here in private."
Oh, okay. And Tina will get up and follow him.
You see, he looks at his hand, and he just leaves it stands out for a long time, and then he just drops it to his side. "Follow me." The meeting adjourns, and you trail this Thorn Radley in silence. You wind through several of these labyrinth that Michael's Gate is. Do you say anything to this guy?
No, because I don't know him.
Understood.
I'm just following him, like,
Understood.
Who is this person?
He walks. He doesn't look back. But, you know, he moves at a casual pace. Doesn't say anything to you. Until you see he turns into a corridor. One of these halls where there's not too many people walking around. And then he turns on his heels and he looks at you. You notice the smile is gone. That piercing glare and hollow look is back on his face. He bends down, almost like one would bend down to talk to a child. You don't belong here. Did I say that slow enough for you to get it?
Tina just looks at him.
It's okay. Some of us learn better with showing than telling. And I plan on showing you and whatever imaginary friend or demon you have in that rock that you don't belong here. He stands up to his full height, almost looking down at you in disgust. But then, quickly, this personality he's able to manifest reappears, and you see a smile come back on his face. We're almost there, friend. I can't wait to get to know you better. You see, he walks off down the corridor, almost leaving you to find your own way.
Tinu's like shaking and she's looking around for Kala. And then she'll just, I guess, follow him because that was the instructions.
And with that, we'll get back to what's happening right now. All right. And all right. Let's get our Drakkenheim map in order. And once again, this session's going to be a lot of plotting, a lot of planning, a lot of questions, all that type of good stuff. So, we did a lot of fighting. Time to relax a bit.
Somehow I feel like relax is not the word for this session.
All right. So, from that buried, camouflaged pit outside of Eckerman Mill to the mill itself was about maybe an hour's travel. And actually, I have yet to show you guys the book's depiction of this. Shout out to some art. Eckerman Mill. Here is the approach. And here's our art from the book. As described before, Eckerman Mill is just as decayed as the rest of the structures in and around Drakkenheim. Rows of silos, almost as tall as the mill, stand like sentries in the distance, and probably go on for a half a mile or so. The few buildings that are here look native to the mill. Whatever purposes they served is slowly being erased, as the whole area has been transformed into a camping ground for all types of people, staging explorations into Drakkenheim. As you already know, graffiti is on everything. The mill and surrounding buildings are awash in thousands of messages from visitors to the Dead City. Their aspirations and tragedies, their victories and defeats, dreams and nightmares. Decades of memorials stamped into the rotting walls. And as we see in our picture here, headstones dot the landscape and seem to mark the sites of makeshift graves. Some have names etched into them, others are blank and anonymous. They probably met their end in Drakkenheim somehow, in some way, and the people who knew them ended their story here. The rest of you, or all of you, are inside of the actual mill itself, where there's graffiti all over the walls. And Tinu, you stand in the mill house with your friends. You look at the symbol you made on the wall representing you and your new friends, the Knifebites. So our stream can see. Ta-da! Maybe you wonder who in the future will stand in this very space and look at it and wonder about your own fate. River's voice suddenly grabs your attention, Tinu, and you're brought back to the conversation here at hand. Throw River up here. Our razor sharp-teethed pantsuit tiefling. Yeah. The tiefling sits on a stack of old crates, ankles crossed. Her hands dig through her chest bag, and she pulls out a folder made of sturdy material, purple in color, and bearing a series of gold-stamped numbers on its cover. The folder is dense and organized, with tabs. She looks at you all and gives a small grin. Her tone is lecturish and suggestive. She says, "Okay. Now, I am not sure of everyone's education level here, so I'll try to drudge up my communication training and focus on the big picture, alright? If I'm going too fast, let me know. I'll slow down. We all learn at different paces, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. And if you have any questions, speak up. This may take a minute. Hence why I fed you guys some cookies. All right.
Testing.
There you are.
I hear you.
There you are.
You're back,
Hello.
Carl.
Hello. Hey. Welcome back. I'm going
I forgot to ask,
Yes.
Brent, were River's cookies that she gave us, were they drugged?
Roll a Constitution save. No. Y'all follow. You feel fine. You don't know. I mean, you don't feel sick.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's go to our Eckerman Mill map here now.
I will make it a point though that Alice did not take any, even last week.
Got it.
Oh, you're right. She didn't.
Tina took 4.
What you don't know, those were level up cookies. Everyone you eat is a level. No, I'm joking.
That's fine.
Yes! 4 levels.
It's canon.
As we all know, the Amethyst Academy is powerful, right? It's a powerful thing. Inventions, railways, weapons, arcane-powered cities, a ton of other stuff. Now, the Academy uses this power wisely to carry society forward, often whether people are ready or not. We have the potential to do so much more, but our bane has always been... Can anybody guess?
Edicts of Lumen.
Well, you're actually right, but I was going to say a lack of numbers.
Yeah.
Unlike the church and nations and gangs and cultists, where any bonehead can join, the Academy has this tiny prerequisite called Mageborn, which I'm sure you've all heard by this point. Only a fraction of people in our world have this trait. She seems to think for a moment, or have it in a meaningful way. There used to be many more people like us, but tragically, the church, she says, and looks at you, Alice, tried to eliminate the Mageborn trait a long time ago because of certain things that happened an even longer time ago. We're all in a better place now, but our numbers are still sparse because of those times. Today we're kind of like a small but powerful family. This means we just can't flood Drakkenheim with arcanists and hope for the best. Each capable Academy member carries with them decades of knowledge about manifesting their abilities and the best way to serve this world. And if you're a numbers kind of guy or gal, I mean, each Academy member is an investment of at least 100,000 coin. So,
and that's only up to basic levels, second, third rank spells. Even as it gets higher, it's even more investment.
Yes. You spent some time in the Academy, haven't you?
I have.
Knew it. But anyway, you're absolutely right. For a ton of reasons, it's just not a good idea for us to muster thousands of members here. Plus, it would just set off alarm bells, and the more reactionary part of the church, the Silver Order, you know, will pop up and make it harder to do our job. That's why.
That bad, are they?
Let's just say, when we decide to do things, the more visible that thing is, the worse the church seems to get their underwear in a bunch. It can be that bad. Yes.
But you're not hurting anybody.
Us?
You have
No,
to understand
of course
it from
not.
Perspective, the Amethyst Academy is the most extra legal of all the organizations in this region, if not this entire, not the world. If they start moving, other orders take notice, and it doesn't help that. Well, the Edicts of Lumen exist for a reason, but memories can last longer.
But you're right, we aren't hurting anyone. But, nevertheless, the church, which we all know has hurt a lot of people, seems to be quite, hypocritical in that manner. But anyway, the more visible we are, the harder it is to do our job. And that's why it's just little old me and Jimmy out here. My mentor always told me that you know that you are doing a good job in the Academy if few people notice the job until it's done. With that being said, our goal is to... You see, she speaks some arcane language and does some very tight gestures with her fingers. It's like clockwork. Like, this person is quite trained. And she gestures towards the old door to the mill house, and it groans open. Off in the distance, you can see the outline of Drakkenheim and Castle Draken. But River's focus is on a colossal, chromatic tower of almost equal height and magnitude of Castle Draken. This tower is shattered 2/3 of the way up, but impossibly, the upper third of the tower is still suspended above the blown-out core. Here is an image that I don't think I've shown you yet of said tower. I don't want to show that one yet. That's a baller image. But let's see. This one? Oh. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. You guys are a bit further away than that, but you guys get the idea. The goal is to reclaim what the normies call the Inscrutable Tower. Fun fact, its actual name is unpronounceable. To the humanoid tongue, at least. At least these days.
So which tongue used to speak its name?
That's an interesting question. Well, from the contents discovered inside, they found some interesting paperwork referencing its name, and it's a string of symbols that's more computational than phonetic. Think, verbal arcane incantations, but maybe on a different frequency that we can't register. Something to that effect. Now,
Interesting.
you may be wondering, what is the Inscrutable Tower? Have I lost anybody? Still on the same page?
I'll
Yes.
do a nod.
Soren will give a nod as well.
Good. You can think of the Inscrutable Tower as a research institute. A large study for a bunch of wizards looking to work together on unique problems. It contains generations of discoveries made by the Academy and tools necessary to analyze and make use of those discoveries, while securing, keyword, whatever new stuff may arise from those discoveries. All the tools we need to really work with Delirium is in there. And the means to secure Delirium and its effects are also in there.
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
Well, I mean, the meteor Roman fell, what, scant decade ago or so?
We're pretty certain of the tools inside there can do a lot more than what we're doing right now. Promise you.
Mostly would probably be the collection of old precedent knowledge and resources and implements that could be helpful.
We've had, like you said, a decade, almost two, to go ahead and experiment and find what we can. And we're certain with the knowledge that we've gained so far that the Inscrutable Tower can take us to the next level.
Well, you're not going to get very high in the levels of that tower. It's bifurcated.
That is a problem, but a problem that's not insurmountable, Mr. Goldbound. We believe, now we're not certain, but we believe the reason why it looks like that is because the fields that hold the Inscrutable Tower together is disrupted but not necessarily destroyed. We think we can put it back together again.
Oh, with magic.
Oh yeah,
Well, magic is capable of unscrambling eggs.
Yes, it is. You guys get a sense that this stuff she's telling you, like, I'll give you guys a group check. I'm not gonna. I'll leave it to you to figure out the questions you want to ask and how she's talking about this stuff. But just run me a group insight. Let's see what's up.
Well,
Oh fuck. 9.
The two clerics are the most trusting of the Amethyst Academy.
Yeah,
I
you're
know
like,
I rolled a 2.
okay, this sounds good. This sounds good. Keep the PowerPoint going. Yeah, I mean, you guys, you're just listening to her. You don't get too much from her tone. Besides, she's just lecturing to you guys at the moment. She says, you'd think the divine light would have told, the matriarch that containment might be better than destruction, but what do I know, right?
Is it like how do I say this in a way? So out of character, is casting divine magic the same thing as casting arcane magic?
No,
Like, would we need to like? It's not, right?
No, it's completely different.
Find the way the differences work. With divine magic, you are getting it from an outside source, usually a quote-unquote deity figure in this setting, to grant you to become a channel for their magic in the world.
But...
With arcane, you are weaving the magic that exists kind of as an element in nature and turning it into
No. This is what you would know, Tinu and Kalina, is that at Michael's Gate they would have told you that yes, these divine spells are blessings from the divine light, specific incantations that's able to invoke this divine power, at least to those who are believers, and then it can cast spells. Michael's Gate would have told you that arcane spells is really a manifestation of this mage-born trait. It's some type of inherent bodily trait that's able to tap into some other field in order to go ahead and cast spells. But they would have emphasized that arcane magic is a trait of mage-borns. It's, that type of stuff.
So Tino says, I know nothing about like arcane magic, because apparently mine is divine, but I do know of a spell called Glyph of Warding. So in my world, or in my head, in my uneducated head, let me try to explain this in a way that will make sense. So if I have a dome, right? And inside the dome is a piece of pineapple, or a cookie, let's say a cookie.
what?
And then, so you have this cookie and the dome, so it's a dome, but if you dent it, there's a dent in the dome. Is that what you said is happening to the tower? So the fields would be like that, right? That you need to fix the dent.
I like that. Actually, that is pretty good. Yes,
As far as
that's
analogy go, that's actually not bad, yeah.
pretty close. Yes.
That's not how stone's supposed to work, but okay.
We're not talking
Well,
about stone, though.
Yeah,
I just assumed because you need to like put it in a circle. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, the fields of the inscrutable towers a lot more complicated than a dome, but you can say that that field has been disrupted, hence what we kind of see there in the distance. Right now, cities across all nations are looking for reasons to use this stuff, delirium, and there's countless con men and women, malfeasant wizards, other bad guys exploiting that curiosity by selling the stuff and creations made from it. Delirium needs gatekeeping, I hope you would all agree with that, and controlled access. And the Academy is the only thing in this world that can do that, if we have the best laboratory in the world back under our control. Like we're talking about, when the meteor fell, as you can see, the tower took a direct hit, messed up the fields, and Since then, all attempts to access the tower and communicate with anything inside has failed. I mean, the last person at my post tried all that. It seems like one can get inside the lobby of the tower, but that's about it, and good luck getting back out.
There's people alive in there?
I was gonna say.
We're not sure. There's been teams of Academy mages sent in there in the past. They've never returned. We assume they're dead, but who really knows?
Dead if they're lucky.
Agreed. I mean, countless mages have disappeared inside. I mean, especially when the meteor hit. Including the Archmage of Drakkenheim, Adriana Modera. I mean, we have no idea what happened to her since the impact. Teleportation, scrying magic, all of it fails. It's pretty much a big black box right now. When the meteor fell, the Academy attempted, like I said, to send rescue missions, but that didn't work. So, it's been a tough nut to crack, guys. I mean, to be honest, we still have a few plan Bs, some of which can involve you lovely folks. If we can gain back control of the tower, then we can control the disbursement of delirium and have a place where we can truly unlock its potential, and we can contain it.
Sorry, I understand you want to like study it or whatever, but how do you get from there to containing it? Isn't it in the river? I mean, the Dran's basically a giant vat of poison at this point.
This is true, but in order to start the process of containing it, you kind of have to patch the leak. I mean, we can't do anything about what's been leaking out here now, at least for now. But we can stop the leak, contain the area. Then, with a few more innovations, we may be able to find a way to clean up the Dran and other cities. I mean, the innovations we've made so far will be nothing compared to what we can do with delirium. I mean, imagine delirium powered rail running deep underground, taking people across the realm in minutes instead of weeks, or cities built on arcane grids made of delirium, powering everything from lighting, plumbing, industrial machines. I mean,
You don't think it's dangerous?
Well, right now it's dangerous, of course. But I strongly believe, and I encourage all of you to believe, in the capabilities of the Academy. We can synthesize this stuff. We can smelt it. Maybe get rid of some of its more corrupting aspects. We just need a place to where we can do it and have the tools to do it.
Wait a minute.
Oh, go ahead, Larry.
But you said that you had over a decade now to work on this stuff. You have any proof to back up your words?
Well, we do. As we speak right now, there's other institutes that the Academy controls where we have figured out some very, very interesting applications of delirium.
I meant about the whole cleaning thing. You figure that part out, even if.
Oh yes, we found out ways on small scales to purge out the more contaminative aspects of it and imbue it or meld it to weapons, other objects, and it affects no one.
You made an alloy out of delirium?
Wait,
Look,
but
I'm
those
not saying that
crystals-
everything has been solved right now. We can't do that because, unfortunately, the thing that we need, the tools we need, is compromised. But we're pretty certain we can get this under control.
Can I insight check that comment? On...
Sure.
I like the inside check as well.
Tina too, because she was about to just call her out on that. These crystals like suck people's souls out of their bodies.
And they're poisonous, and they'll kill you if you touch them. Yeah, I'm making it. Yeah, Grubins, insights all around.
Sorry, I was just like, hey, God.
No, you worded exactly what we were all feeling, or at least most of us.
I'm just thinking about the.
If you get above
Louis,
us,
go polish your gun.
Yeah, all right.
if you get above a 16, you get a sense that these are well-prepared answers to maybe common questions.
Like it's rehearsed.
Yeah. Look, think of large-scale force fields generated by delirium that dragons can't even penetrate. Medical advances, mass production of food. Delirium could elevate the average person in like almost every way. We can leave castles and fortifications behind us. I mean, we were heading in that direction before the Civil War. I mean, imagine what we would be if the Academy controlled innovation instead of petty princes and princesses fighting over mud and stone. Regardless of what you think, what is possible, you can't argue with the fact that the Academy, we're the ones that should be working with this stuff. Not the church, not the Queen's men, definitely not the cultists, and the Green Cloaks don't even seem to care.
Brent, so I don't know if we're supposed to know this, but you know how back in the past, how the Mageborns were like kicked out by the church? What was the catalyst for that?
The Swordburg
Roll me,
King.
roll me a history check. We'll see if your character knows anything about that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Tina probably wouldn't. Because
Or
There-
maybe you do.
That's
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
says.
11. Damn it. Because I guess, well, I'll tell
All
you
you
what.
know is that the in history, those who had made foreign traits were persecuted by the Church of the Divine Light. That's what you would know.
Okay, so just based off of that, anyways, Tina would say, well, if
Mhm.
that all sounds good and it sounds like amazing. I mean, magic is, think it's cool, but something must have happened in the past to get Mageborns persecuted, to why we are here we are now. Like, I mean, something must have happened. Like, why? I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
You mean
what
why
was I
the
asking?
Hold on. Just take a breath and try to get it back.
Yeah, take a breath and how about don't force yourself to disagree?
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. I'm asking you, like, what is the proving point, I guess, that
Where's the evidence?
where they would listen to you, because obviously people who can harness magic want to make lives better, right? So if I went to go try to do that before, something might have went wrong, and that's why I would got in trouble. Like, I got persecuted.
I
So
see.
now, yeah.
She just kind of hand waves the same arguments the church has been presenting forever. If something bad happened a long time ago, what if the same bad thing happens again in the future? Look, we're hundreds, maybe 1,000 years or so away from the time of the Arcane Empire. We're not the same people. Nor are we sorcerer kings and queens. Our agenda isn't to enslave the world. I mean, look around. Go to any city and what do you see there? Churches. Everywhere. That should tell you enough about who's trying to control the world, right?
So I'm taking that you're not asking us to go into that fucked up tower that you've lost, what, dozens of teams in, that's split in half with who knows what kind of magical abominations out of the goodness of our hearts and the hopefulness of the future for you to make some fucking rail into deep underground, right? Because that sounds like a lot of shite.
Well, I may not be asking you that, my friend, but some other people may be interested in helping in such an endeavor. People who care about this world and care about corruption not running rampant and uncontrolled delirium popping up in every city and every town and every mountain. You see, she looks over at Kolabadi. This one here came to me asking about the tower. Ain't that right?
Could be correct.
She looks at you, Loey, and kind of presents her hands. See?
Well, that's one of us at least.
One and maybe more.
I want to go too, Tina says.
So that's
That's
death
the
trap.
spirit. You're already in a death trap.
Loey.
Thank you.
That sounds like a death trap.
And the Academy, we do pay well.
Oh, good. Now we're talking sense. All right.
Ah, there we go. Yes, yes. She claps her hands. See? There's something for everyone in these endeavors. But there are some roadblocks on the way to claiming the tower.
The inner city?
Physically, yes, exactly. I mean, besides the tower itself, compromised by erratic magical phenomena, our other problem is the church and the nations and these other factions. We can't contain delirium if the church continues to occupy Drakkenheim and trying to destroy the stuff. I mean, the thing is, what they plan on doing is to truly get rid of delirium is still kind of a mystery, or maybe a secret is a better word. Or they may have no good plan at all, and the delirium hunt was a ruse for something else. I don't think the church is dumb enough to think that they can just get rid of delirium by sending in their paladins to smash it. They must have bigger plans in works. If anything, they probably want to get their artifacts from that cathedral before doing something big, so securing the tower before whatever they have planned is a priority. Then, like I said, the nations around the realm, believing the crown and a ruler of Westmar is more important than figuring what to do with delirium. I mean, think of how much time was wasted when Cecilia and Manfred von Kessel were fighting in the fields and in the forest, or better yet, something more recent. Think of how many resources were being blown by the commander of whatever's left of the Drakkenheim army. I mean, not one, not two, but three failed attempts to get to Castle Draken, and they're working on the fourth. Just like the church, these cities and nations are in the way of setting up a system to where we can industrialize and contain delirium. Besides that, well, actually, not besides that, but related to that, because there's some solutions, and there's some solutions of what I'm about to go ahead and say next. There is some dangerous, malfeasant mages also trying to get in the tower before us. And if they do, and get control of the tower, it can be a disaster. But some of these malfeasant mages, particularly one, has a lot of information that I think would scare the church and some of these other nations and give us the breathing room that we need. You see, she opens her folder. She flips to a tab. Currently, there are 3 malfeasant mages on our list here that's the most dangerous. I'm gonna list them from low priority to high priority, okay? We have an Oscar Yorn, a Ryan Greymere, and a Friedrich von Leichten. And when she says the last name, she looks at you, Alice.
Allison's just looking at her. She's been quiet the whole time, just listening.
Like I said, if these folks get access to the tower, control it, whatever other problems you think that you have going on is going to get 10 times worse. But some of them have research that we're very much interested in obtaining that can help in the case against the church, some of the nations, and further our own development of delirium. But we need someone to chase them down. Some heroes that seem to know what they're doing, that has a record of, you know, taking down some Minotaur on a ship, I think, that has negotiation skills, it can get some hard-nosed dwarves in alignment. We need some seasoned adventurers. Oh, come on, I'm talking about the Knifebites, guys!
But do you care about them, or do you care about their books and ledgers and notes and whatever?
You mean, do I care about them as people?
No, I mean, do you want them dead or alive, and do you more care about...
Do you want their research notes, or do you want them alive in person?
Well,
they're malfeasant. Do you want them standing trial or not?
That's there's yeses and nos to both of those questions. But who do we want to talk about first? I'll leave it up to you guys. What was that?
Von Leichten.
Ah,
Okay.
Friedrich von Leichten. Mr. Leichten, you see, she flips to a section, has a long history in Drakkenheim, and she like pinches the section in her folder, and it's like a thick section of like papers. But the short version is that he served as Grand Master of Drakkenheim for 2 generations of leaders. Archmage Lenneth Eventide and her successor, Adriana Modera. Both are dead now. For those of you who don't know, Grandmaster is positioned right under Archmage in the who's who of the Academy. So Mr. Leighton served under the late Archmage of Drakkenheim, Adriana, and served under the previous Archmage, Lilith. Actually, her old manor's on the edges of Emberwood, but I wouldn't go there. Apparently it's still haunted. She kind of clears her throat uncomfortably. You see, she was referencing her folder a lot on this one. Von Leichten is the founder of the school of mutagenesis. He is about 300 years old, from what we understand. I haven't met the guy. Just a point about how potent his arcane designs are. We discovered he's been performing some disturbing experiments on innocent people for generations, in some mad obsession with expanding his field and completing some project. We're still putting the pieces together on what that project is or was. What we do know is that at some point, Von Leichten developed an interest in mutagenesis at the procreation level. I guess to put it in... Yes?
He's making babies?
You should let her finish.
No,
Sorry.
that's an appropriate question. Not everybody may know what procreation means. Yes, making babies or creatures in general. But to put it in context, Lilith Eventide, the former Archmage of Drakkenheim, it was long rumored that she was barren, unable to have children. It was something that really bothered her, from what I understand. But suddenly, one day she was with child. Imagine that. Not soon after she gave birth, she unfortunately perished in a large fire at Eveningtide Manor. Only her two servants and the child escaped, according to our records. We found it quite interesting that the Archmage of Drakkenheim, a director of the Academy, perished in a fire. You would think that someone of her stature would be able to easily escape such a fate. Mighty fishy. Lilith was a very secretive person, from what I understand, and extremely possessive of the inscrutable tower. Like Von Leichten, she served the Academy at the tower for many, many years. Only her and Grandmaster Friedrich von Leichten understood the nature of the tower at a very deep level. I mean, after all, the tower's more of a discovery than construction. When Lilith died, the Academy suspected von Leichten had some role in it and began investigating further. Adriana Modera was elected the new Archmage of Drakkenheim and placed on the board of the Directorate. From what is in these papers, she kind of taps on her notebook, von Leichten was beyond pissed that he was skipped over for the position. We think it was about that time Leichten began to consider maybe we were watching him and trying to contain him. When Adriana assumed her role as Archmage of Drakkenheim, she immediately began to perform her own investigation on her Grandmaster, trying to find some connection between von Leichten and Lilith's death without him knowing. A hard balancing act, I imagine. Adriana was able to find information that led to the discovery of an alternative laboratory that von Leichten used outside of Drakkenheim. Apparently, it's not too far from Liberio. We raided it and found some shocking things. Papers there told us the church and von Leichten had been collaborating for at least a century, tinkering with the blood of mageborns, creating strange things to some end. Adriana planned to confront Mr. Leichten, but then the meteor hits. We aren't sure where Leichten was when the meteor fell. I mean, I guess technically he could have been in the tower and escaped somehow, or in a different laboratory altogether. He was designated malfeasant after that, but the trail went cold. We always suspected that he may be in Drakkenheim, though. He spent more time in the city and in the tower than any other place. We can't scry or use similar magic to target creatures within Drakkenheim. It just doesn't work. So it makes sense that he would hide here from us. So finding him has been kind of agonizing. Now recently, we've been hearing from adventurers in Emberwood a rumor about a pale man, or the pale man. Some kind of sorcerer that has found a way to reverse the worst cases of contamination, even reversing transformation. According to these rumors, though, the only way to get to the residence of this pale man is to come upon a black coach in the inner city and take a ride somewhere. I mean, this is what we've heard repeatedly, but there may be more information out there. The gangs are in the ruins a lot. They may know something. From what we understand, this Blackjack Mel is quite informative, but he may not want to talk with you guys or us right now. Or maybe so, who knows? The Hooded Lanterns may know a bit more. They're in the city a lot. We think this pale man, of course, may be Leichten. I mean, mutagenics, in theory, could probably suppress or reverse contaminated transformation. And the only mageborn in this realm with actual know-how would be Mr. Leichten. I mean, the Black Coach is another clue. Our records show prior to the meteor falling, von Leichten was fond of one, and he often used it to travel for business. We don't know if the whole rumor of this pale man is true, though. Those who say they visited the pale man don't recall their stay. She's flipping pages. Apparently, they just wake up on some abandoned street in Drakkenheim and have no clue of where they were for the past number of days. I have more strange shit here for you. A few adventurers we talked to said they were cured of contamination by the pale man and seemed to, but then they seem to disappear or eventually go missing. Their adventuring buddies tell us, hey, such and such just randomly left us while we were in the ruins, or we woke up and Robert was gone, stuff like that. If this pale man is von Leichten, then most likely he's trying to find a way into the tower. And we think he may have a bigger laboratory in there, and it's probably kitted with all types of tools. If he seizes control of the tower, there's no telling what horrors Leichten would create and unleash on Westamar. He knows the tower better than anyone. He would move fast. So he has to be found and stopped at all costs. And whatever research he has collected and brought to the Academy. I imagine some of that research may have answers to questions for you, Alice. But this is a person that probably better eliminated, then brought to some trial.
Oh, he has to have money, right? Because he has to coach.
I'm not sure money matters much to Mr. Lightden at this point. He's a Grand Master. His arcane acumen is quite breathtaking. I imagine he can find a way to get the resources he needs in order to do the things he wants.
And doubtless, like whatever was suggesting, probably works with unscrupulous folks in the city, the gangs in Buckletown. If he needs anything.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if Blackjack Mel or somebody maybe has made contact with this fellow, maybe intentionally keeps him hidden.
Think the church would have had anything to do with him?
He's
Well,
malfeasant. They probably have a bounty on him.
Oh, that's what they're going to tell everybody else.
I understand what you're saying, Alice. Von Leichten's notes and materials tell us that he was recruited by the church to manufacture Mageborns that could manifest celestial magic. Magic close to divine powers practiced by the church. Think of a Mageborn Arcanist that can cast divine spells in a similar manner we do evocations. The church and the academy is known for quite some time that the Von Draken lineage was particularly susceptible to Mageborn traits, more specifically potent Mageborn traits descended from sorcerer kings and queens that ruled over these lands thousands of years ago. I guess the point is after the last of the Von Draken line was beheaded, the church swooped in and took the remaining children they could find of the Von Drakens. Records in Lumen say that the goal was to prevent them from being victims of familicide, which, to be fair, did happen when... Excuse me! Wake up. Alright, sorry. Which is fair. I mean, it did happen when Albert von Draken was beheaded, but... like you suggest, what if there are some other goals the church didn't officially state, like employing a mage to create Mageborn with divine powers? I mean, ultimately the project didn't seem to work and the church dropped it and tried to erase the evidence. The thing is, you may be able to erase words and documents, but it's hard to erase a Grand Master mage. Von Leichten wasn't done with this project yet, and apparently he kept experimenting. Decades later, from what we have in the notes that we acquired, something happened that made him go all in. We don't know what that was. There's talk in his journals of some type of major breakthrough in his laboratory. But then the meteor hit and Von Leichten disappeared. So, whether the church is doing something with him currently, maybe not so much. Could be. But there is the information that came to us later about you and House Jones and Caspia. But before I get there, think about this, Alice. We have lots of evidence from this Von Leichten's old station near Liberio. What if we took this information to the lords in the Eastern Vale, the other houses of Caspia, Liberio itself, cities across Westamar? What do you think their reaction would be if they found out that the church was attempting to create Mageborn.
Depends on who's telling them and how much money they got behind them, I think.
Huh. Well, let me go a bit deeper then. I mean, how do you think people in the church would feel knowing that the Circle of the Inner Flame, the most powerful group of priests in the church, tried to bury this? What would Lucretia Matthias tell her flock? I think this will be more than matters of exploiting it with coin. It would give justification for a lot of different groups to look at the church a completely different way.
Possibly break away from the edicts?
Maybe. But anyway, Murdoch, who you met and also went missing, he was in my position before he vanished. He told my superior that he received a bunch of records from an informant around these parts. We still don't know who that was. These records tracked people who were suspected to be descendants from old lineages of sorcerer kings and queens. And we think it was originally, the list itself was originally created by the church many centuries ago. And this directly links to von Leichten's experiments. It's how we found out about you, Alice. Everyone else on that list, at least from what we could find, is dead or unable to be found, but you're here. Murdoch was sent to warn you in hopes that it would force von Leichten to come out of the shadows. Because even though the church didn't seem to be connected to these experiments, it seemed that von Leichten maybe found a new benefactor. House Caspia. But Murdoch never returned, and we haven't heard anything from Leichten on the matter. Right now, we're kind of at a crossroads with it. I mean, we're not really sure how involved the church is in Leichten's work at this moment. We don't think they're involved, but who knows? But we do know House Jones has been pulled into this. And we do know House Jones has been recently bankrolling the Hooded Lanterns. So, also imagine this. We break the news that the church and House Jones was involved in this conspiracy to meddle with your blood and somehow create Mageborn. The other Caspian houses would lose it. House Jones would have no choice but to cut whatever funding to Kesselholm and the Hooded Lanterns. And without that funding, the Green Cloaks will eventually run out of steam. Two birds, one stone, as they say.
You're quick to throw away a resource by saying that the Green Cloaks will be out of steam. Why not turn them to your cause and add numbers even if they're not Mageborn? Why is everyone so quick to run resources out?
Okay. Have you been to the garrison in Drakkenheim and seen these folks?
Yes,
Not yet.
we have.
Oh, you have? You have?
Garrison?
Yeah, we have.
You've been to the garrison?
The same one?
Yeah.
Wait, Voran, are you getting confused between that and the Watchtower? The one in Emberwood?
No, I'm not talking about the Watchtower. They have a whole garrison at one of the gates, I think Shepherd's Gate in Drakkenheim, where there's like 10 times as many of them. Sure. But they're there to get themselves killed by this never-ending war against all these entities that they think is trying to take them down. I mean,
Go change their target and have it work for you.
They are unmovable. Let me just put it that way. They don't want to work with any of the houses, really. The only reason they kind of had to is because they needed the coin. They definitely don't really want to work with the Choice Church, from what I understand. And the Academy, they look at us too as a bunch of users, and so the cultists and the gangs. They're ultra paranoid about somebody trying to screw them over, and we don't have time to convince a bunch of 15-year-old soldiers and a drunk commander to see reason.
Wait, you've met Elias?
No, I haven't met him, but everybody knows about him. I mean, he's a war hero.
Well, how do you know he's a drunk?
She just looks at you.
That's not exactly hard to come by information, Louis.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
We don't need a drunk commander trying to fight the last era's war on our side. And also, I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but there's some mighty strong rumors out there that this guy killed his own prince.
What? You're kidding.
No. She stands up, seeing that you don't know that. She goes, yeah. The Civil War, how did it end? Mysteriously, Manfred von Kessel dies in a train crash. Cecilia von Kessel goes missing. Nobody's seen her at all. But guess who's still hanging out and around? The commander of Manfred von Kessel's army. How did he survive through all this?
It is funny.
You can't trust them. You see, she looks at you, Alice. If he doesn't think you're useful, and he thinks you're against the cause, he will kill you. Or run you out.
What would you do if I was against you and didn't believe in the cause? What would the church do? What would the Queensmen do? What would anybody do?
Running a sword through your belly or kidnapping you and dropping you off in the middle of the inner city is not something we would do. We have the capability to use more than violence to get what we want. The Green Cloaks? That's all they have. Weapons.
But at least it's a known threat.
Let me ask you this. Do you support him recruiting a bunch of teenagers? A bunch of orphans from Drakkenheim to run through the city? Because that's what he's doing. You want to be a part of that?
She just looks at her. She's not responding.
She just puts her hands like, see?
Who's that Ryan Graymere lass that you were talking about?
Ah, yes. You see she flips in her binder. Let's see. Miss Graymere, or the Banshee as they call her, I mean, lame moniker if you ask me, she has a long history with the Academy. She, actually was one of the first high-ranking members of the Academy in Drakkenheim after the city was destroyed. A lot of the early innovations and discoveries with delirium, you know, we owe to her brilliant mind. She was a leading expert on the stuff. The thing is she's a anti-etic. She doesn't believe in the edicts of Lumen. She doesn't think that they're enforceable anymore since one of the key nations is missing in action, and she wrote this long manifesto that says the Academy should just take Drakkenheim by force, which we can all agree is insane and would lead to a war, a bad kind of war, the war you read in the history books. Obviously, the Academy had to expel her. She was supposed to be tried in a court in Lumen, but she fled here, and now the Academy and the Church are, we're paranoid that she may be trying to seize the tower for herself, and who knows what she would do with such power. But we think she may be able to be reasoned with. She's made some advancements with delirium that should be acquired by us and put to actual good use. Besides getting her research, getting her to at least have a conversation in a neutral place with my superior may be a giant step in the right direction. Maybe we can convince her that at trial, if she renounces her manifesto and war talk, we may be able to convince the Church that a demotion and stationing her somewhere far away is, good enough punishment. But, the longer she's out here, the worse it's going to be. Getting to her is the problem. We think she's holed up at the Rose Theater in the inner city. An adventuring group we worked with a few times say that they spied her there. We alerted the Church to that location, assuming maybe they could do the work for us. Assuming you can stomach it, you could try to work with the Church. They may be willing to help capture her. But if Ryan knows you're working with the Church, she's probably not going to be up for talking. But getting her research is still a win. That's the big goal.
So wait, you don't want to work with the Hooded Lanterns, but you also don't agree with Ryan trying to take over the city. I'm confused.
I don't see how you can be confused.
Aren't they the guard?
The Hooded Lanterns?
Aye.
Yeah,
So
they
I-
call themselves the Guard. Yeah, true.
So, but you don't like them because they're drunks and jackasses.
They are a liability, yes.
Well then, if you're not going to take over Drakkenheim, well, the Hooded Lanterns aren't going to do that either, then who's going to run the place?
Well, there's a key difference you're missing there, Mr. Goldbound. Take over Drakkenheim can mean many different things. Do we believe bringing in thousands of Academy members to push out the Hooded Lanterns and the monsters and maybe fighting off the Silver Order is a good idea of taking over Drakkenheim? No. But if we can get the tower, there are tools there to where we can contain the city. Once we can use these magical tools to contain the expansion of delirium, and with the inscrutable tower we'll have so much more power. It'll be stupid for the Hooded Lanterns to stick around. And the gangs, and maybe even the Church. This tower can do incredible things.
And Loey, decontaminating the city is going to take decades. For talking about taking who's going to control the city, I think you have to ask the next generation that.
I guess.
Good point, Kolobati. But no, we're not for taking the city by force, but we are for a soft approach. Using the tower to build some fields, maybe, to contaminate the city, secure the city, and then there'll be other ways once we have the tower to push out these other folks.
Well, she sounds like a perfect loon. I understand why you got that feeling about her now.
She smiles at you, showing her teeth, sharp teeth. Well, lastly, there is this Oscar Yorn. We're not too concerned with him yet, although he could become a big issue. Selling strange magical concoctions to gangs and other groups, strictly forbidden by the Edicts of Lumen, unless authorized by the Academy, which, as you suspect, Mr. Yorn hasn't sought to do so. We had irreconcilable differences with Oscar Yorn, the Academy, and him. I'm not privy to all the detail, but the Directorate cut support for his research. Then, when Yorn absconded with several volumes of conjuration, transmutation, and necromancy that we own, we discovered he'd taken up unsavory methods for acquiring raw materials to create his concoctions. He was declared malfeasant and came here to Drakkenheim for refuge. We know he's survived in the city ruins for about a decade. We don't know how he's managed to do so. Curious to find out. We know that he knows some peculiar stuff about the haze. But yeah, we located Oscar Yorn by trailing a group of expelled students who sought him out. They may be working as apprentices for him now. We don't really care, what you do to obtain his information and the materials he stole. But we want his research and our information back. A spell book of his journal, samples of his work. I guess in worst case scenario, his head and his brain can prove useful to us. But we know he's over at Reed Manor, and his defenses seem less than up to snuff. If he keeps smuggling drugs made from delirium around Drakkenheim, it's just going to aggravate the Silver Order and make our job more difficult. We don't think he has an ability to find the way into the tower, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tried with the right opportunity. But this is another one where I don't know if killing him is necessarily necessary. It could come down to that. But getting his research is more important.
Say if we wanted to get to Reed Manor. It's pretty far from Emberwood. Would you be willing to help with the transportation here?
You mean like some horses?
Like how you got us here just now today. Crossing the rivers of pain.
She shifts in her seat. Well, using such resources outside of activity directly related to Academy goals is forbidden. And it would, require me to get a very expensive scroll, which also should only be used in relation to Academy activity. I'll tell you what, though, if you agree to get Oscar Yorn's research for us, I think I could convince my boss to let a scroll go. You'll have to pay for it. But I think the math will probably work out to around about 1,200 gold. We can also offer some other less expensive resources to help. Or instead of additional resources, we can discount the cost of the scroll by, maybe about 300 gold. So 900 instead of 1,200.
And if we come to that conclusion, how much time do you need?
If you agree now, I think I can get in a day. But if you want to think on it and spend some time, I would say 24 hours.
No, that's fair. I think we're all a little too exhausted to make any big decisions right now.
Fair enough. Oh, that's right. You guys told me before you met this Don Lero guy?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. What'd he steal from y'all?
Well, he did more than steal. He killed an academy mage at College Gate several months back, and he took from us a key stamped with the number 619. He claims to be an academy wizard, but the only Don Lero we were able to find on our roster was a dropout from about 20 years ago. Interestingly enough, the same name popped up a few months prior to the meteor falling. Apparently that Don Lero was executed for killing another academy wizard and robbing him around the same area. I mean, we don't know how he escaped execution or why it was listed, it was carried out, when it wasn't, but maybe he escaped during the meteor. We don't really care that much about Don Lero. We've been watching his activity, but there's other things I'm doing. We would like that key back very much, though. I'll tell you that much. But you know where he's at? You can.
We got a trail.
We can find him for you.
If he's still alive.
Yeah, what's that key do? Why is it so important?
She thinks a long moment for that. She goes, I think that shouldn't really matter to you guys, right?
Is that key worth about 1,200 gold, or that scroll to you?
It's worthless outside of the academy. But, hey, if somehow you're able to get the key before you need to go to Reed Manor, we'll take that key, and I think that my boss will be perfectly comfortable with burning a resource so long as we get that key back. Yeah. But we want the key first. $619. The number's very important.
Fair enough. Keep it in mind.
Well, you see she hops up off of her seat and dusts herself off. So, what do we want to do together?
I think, we should probably get home, right, guys?
Probably, yeah.
But
It's been
I
a
could-
long day.
and that gives us a lot to think about, especially with your list of malfeasance.
Yes, I understand wanting to get some rest and think about it, but I'm not going to say that you're on a clock or anything, but please get back to me soon. There's all types of adventuring groups around, that may be looking for some work. So, but what you did with the Ironhelm dwarves, I must say that you are the guys that we've been looking for.
Glad to be of service.
Well, I don't know if you want to do a little sightseeing, but we can head back if you like.
I'm ready to head back, but that's up to everybody
Yeah.
else.
I think I'm ready to head back too.
I think we have a few things that we have to do when we get home.
Man, we have so much to do.
It's about an hour walk back.
Let's get going. You see, she moves to go outside of the mill. And Tinu.
Actually,
Yes.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Kolobati?
well, I was saying when I would have found out, I was going to like see if I could stop River for a moment for a private word.
Sure. While people are leaving, Tinu, give me a perception check really quick.
Ooh, come on, Tinu.
Come on, Tinu.
Where is it?
15 is what I'm looking for.
Oh! 20! Dirty 20.
There we go.
As you're leaving out of the mill here, you take one more look over all of this graffiti. Something jumps out at you. You suddenly notice there's a pattern, some consistency across these countless names of adventurers and adventuring groups painted on the ruins here. You note that many of them have X's carved through their name, no matter if it's on wood or stone. And these X's are stained burgundy red. As this catches your eye, you look around at other walls and you notice sporadically across this graffiti you see X's crossed out on certain names. All very similar.
The X is similar?
It's the same routine is what I'm describing. X's crossing out over certain names with a stained burgundy red color over them.
Is it like, well, okay, so I'm very visual detail oriented. So is it like always the second person, or is it like first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth going, or is it like, is there a specific pattern? And that way Continue would notice.
If it's the name of a group, then the group is crossed out. If it's like a list of people, all of the names of those people are crossed out.
What do the names have in common that are getting crossed out? Would I know? Or can I mark
You can
them down?
easily surmise that any list of names is probably a group of adventurers or explorers. It's just they decided to list their names instead of, you know, a group name.
Do I know any of these people?
Interesting question. Roll me an investigation.
Oh, it's +0. Come on, Tina, roll high. I'm gonna use inspiration.
Hey. there
Okay.
we-
Oh my god, I rolled the same thing!
Damn.
7.
Case for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, you don't notice any, you don't recognize any of these names now.
Okay. Well, so it's just that I recognize that there's a red X, right?
Yeah, there's a pattern where scattered across these ruins, and not just inside here, but on the buildings and stuff, anywhere there's graffiti, occasionally you come across a name of a group or a list of adventurers who's crossed out.
But, okay, so I guess you're saying pattern. I'm trying to figure out what that pattern is.
The pattern is that names are crossed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as in like,
But
that's a thing. It seems like the same type of cross out or X or, you know.
oh, so it's done by the same person and not different groups.
Like it's
That's
the
what you
same
get.
color.
That's what you get. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was like, what is Brett going
Sorry.
on about? No, it's okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I will. Does it look like the red? Last question. I'm sorry, you guys. Does it look like the same red that the lipstick people use?
No.
The thieves? No.
Roman survival.
Okay.
The Queensman lipstick color.
Queens. Yeah, that color.
It's a lot of lipstick.
17.
It looks like dry blood.
Oh, yuck. Okay. Did everybody leave already?
Sure, everybody's filing out, you know, getting ready to go. You see, you know, Kolobati sticking around to talk with River here for a second.
Who I would know this? Who would I assume in our party has high investigation?
I mean,
I would
y'all can talk about that.
assume-
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be between me and Kolobati, right?
More than
Yeah.
likely.
Well, since Body is waiting, I'm gonna pull Body. I pull Body. Look, it's all. Okay, so if anybody died and came back to cross off the name of their group members, right? That's what we assumed, right? Or I don't know if you assumed that, but that's what I was assuming. But if you look, it's all done by the same person. Or I would assume it's the same person. It's all the same.
It looks,
the
yeah,
same.
very similar, yes.
Yeah, similar handwriting, similar red marked blood. So maybe somebody's hunting these people, the groups in Drakkenheim? I'm not sure about that, but I don't know. What do you think?
Possible. Considering all the
Could be.
the dispositions of all the groups out here, definitely possible.
Okay, I just wanted to tell somebody else.
Understood. Yeah, you I mean, you haven't been in any of these buildings. I mean, who knows? Maybe the same is inside there. But you guys have other things you're trying to do at the moment. Yeah, you Kolobati, you approach River. She's about to leave here.
I had a query about your notes there.
Yes. Hey.
The
I
Lenneth, she said that she died in a fire, and the only people that survived were her servants. Do you have the names of those servants?
You see, she opens her folder. She goes, I thought you were going to ask me about my stationery. There's an amazing shop on the West Coast, all types of stuff. But anyway, you see that she flips through. Seems to be lost to history, but we do know that they were elves.
Thank you.
No problem.
She'll file out of the building.
All of you go out, and if there's not anything else you want to do, you begin the long trek back.
Before we go, I'll also look at Tinu when Tinu comes out. Did you want to go ahead and get started with that tree with somebody?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Who wants to go first?
You see, Tina takes out the globe with the small blood tree in it.
I mean, we already know me and you.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
about to
let's-
say.
How did you
Probably
get
check
bit
other
in
people.
that shed with that chimera?
I just kind of glares at you bringing that up.
Well,
I mean,
did.
it,
That's why
I was
fucked
in
up
its
with our
mouth
deal,
when it threw me, so I imagine I got bit.
Alright,
Do you want to go first, Alice? I know you're kind of weird.
Yeah,
I
fine.
would
She'll
be
put her
too.
hand. Yeah, she puts her hand out. It looks away.
I prick her finger and drop it in the tree, right?
All right, you guys get that done. Obviously, River looks at you guys curiously, but she doesn't say anything. When you're all ready, you guys leave Eckerman Mill back to the old ruined farmhouse, to this pit. If anybody's curious, you can roll me a survival when you get to this pit.
Sure.
Can we mark it?
I will always roll wisdom
Jesus.
checks, Brent.
Alright.
we all desperately want to know where this pit is. To
I
come
just may not
back.
roll them well.
If you got above a 20, if you got above a 15, you can generally remember the kind of layout of this area, and but also you just note that this pit looks to be a broken cistern, underground cistern that intentionally has been camouflaged with a bed of branches and leaves, probably by the Academy, and has been maybe used for some time. But you guys climb down into the pit. You see River look around and goes to an area of the wall. She takes out her chalk, begins to draw symbols, and then you see the portal back to the Red Lion Hotel appear. After all of you.
File on through.
Yeah.
After you all go through, Jimmy's fat ass squeezes his way through, and you find yourselves once again back at the Red Lion Hotel.
Brett, that took an hour to walk from the mill to that pit.
Yeah.
How long does the tree take?
An hour.
Can I check the tree to see if Alice is sick?
Yes, and
What?
It doesn't register anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're good, Alice.
He'll just look at Louis like, see?
Yeah, I knew you were fine. I didn't know what you're complaining about.
Just making sure.
We have to wait an hour to be able to use it again.
Alice, you just didn't want eyeballs again. It's okay.
What?
Excuse
Ron?
me.
You promised.
Promised what?
She has 2 eyeballs. What are you talking about?
See?
Well, that was fun. It's good getting to talk to all of you for a while. I do have things I need to do. Like I said, you'll let me know what you want to help us with. I hope you want to help us with any one of these. But just let me know. Either way. You see she comes over to the door, unlocks it. See you guys later.
Talk to you later, River.
Yeah.
You guys let yourself out, and if you don't plan on doing anything else here at the Red Lion Hotel, you're back in Emberwood proper. So, that whole ordeal, let's see here. Let's see. So, let's say, that conversation probably took an hour, 2:30. And then another hour to walk back, 3:30. I'm gonna say it's about 4 o'clock.
Mom, we need to get to bed.
You guys are feeling it.
I think some of us are already exhausted.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We probably need to have. Do you do that now, by the way, Carlina and Ron? Or I don't know.
Hey, well,
I should try
I-
probably now before we go to bed, right?
I need to have a quick chat with Kalina first.
Okay.
It's a long walk home.
Well, before we go home, Kalina, are you going to do Tinu's and I do yours? Your contamination, or how do you want to do that?
Would be okay with that, yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna need to pick up another set of supplies while we're in town.
Okay.
I think we still have enough for me to do it.
Wait, can you not use holy water, Ron?
No, he can't.
No, mine's nature-based, not divine.
Oh, I made enough holy water for 2 people. Oh man.
That's
Well.
okay. I will probably be using it at some point.
So, Ron looks at the party. Would everybody mind chipping in for the extra set of supplies then, or?
Well,
Yeah,
why don't
sure.
we sell? Why don't we sell what delirium we got, take that cost out of it, and then split it between the party?
There we go. That's using your noodle.
Yes.
Fair enough.
How much does it cost, Ron?
Was that 100 gold, Brent? I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. I can find for 1 second here. Shrine and.
Dang it! I was being proactive about it.
No, it's still good.
Yes, it's 100 gold.
Yeah, so I need 100 gold of supplies for the druid.
Can you get it from that Eldar fella, or do we gotta go to Old Zoya for you?
I can get it from town.
Yes.
Any general merchant should do just fine.
We don't
Yeah.
have to
You guys
spend a
go
lot
by.
of time shopping.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys go by Orson, Fairweather's to exchange this delirium. You see his armored men is there with, of course, his large caravans. This place is still a buzz, even though it's getting towards the evening. But you guys pull out some pretty large, chunks of delirium, and Orson nods. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You see, they weigh it up. Then they go inside the wagon, write a script off, hand you your gold in a bag, and you're done with that. So, I believe what it was 2 crystals you guys got, or one, whatever.
Yep.
You can put that in the treasure channel as gold, and you guys can split that however you want.
Hold on, I'm doing the math. So we've got 270 gold per person after we take out the 100 for Ron's components. And then there's 10 gold left over, which we could put in the purse.
I'm
So-
fine with that.
Okay, so just making sure you said 270, 270?
270 gold per person after Ron gets his 100 GP for cures.
All right, I will.
And then
apply
10
that
gold into the
in the
party
purse.
pot.
Okay.
As you guys are about to leave here, the caravan court, let's see. Where's that guy?
Nowhere. We're getting home and going to bed, Brent.
It's like Final Fantasy VII. Just random encounter. You're just trying to get back. And random encounter. No. But let's see. One of these guys intercepts you, Alice. Near Aldor the Immense's cart. You see he just steps in your way. Doesn't say a word. He reaches in a side pouch and he hands to you a rolled up piece of paper.
You've been served.
Yep.
Sorry.
Then he walks off.
All right. I'll wait until we're out of town to look at it.
Sure, and I'm gonna have to get back to you on exactly the details of what that says, but I just wanted to get that done because it's on my list of things to do. You unrolled it though, and it looks like a response to what you initially sent out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But we'll leave that for a next session because I want to actually create a note for that.
Okay.
But anyway, you guys leave going south, and you note as you pass the chapel of Saint Ardina that there looks to be 4 knights standing outside of the chapel as sentries. You just see they're looking around as guards. Occasionally, you note that some very vagabondish-looking humanoids approaches the place, and these knights come up to them, and almost in like interrogative fashion. What are you here for? What are you trying to do? And these dirty people usually leave. But it looks like the Chapel of St. Ardina is now being guarded by some knights of the Silver Order.
Now they care.
Well, we had to ask. But yeah.
You note though that Emberwood is a buzz with like a lot more people here. Most of them look like commoners, but it is the town is getting full. You pass by Hendrick's farm, and you note that off in the distance looks like the bonfire is bigger. You can see like easily triple the amount of tents and stuff all along the dead farmland. There is a ton of people out there doing who knows what. But you pass that, make the trek up the ravine and hill, back finally to quote unquote home. And when you guys arrive, you immediately see Yanis comes out the front door. Goes, ah! I thought you were all dead. I mean, shit.
I have something for you. Tina digs out a cookie and gives it to
Is
him.
it? Oh, well, next time you're out there, if you could find me some better cookware, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, everything's been fine here. Nobody's came through. You know, I started a small garden.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What?
But, hey, welcome home. How about this? I got a beautiful vegetable stew we can make. You guys settle in. It'll be done in about an hour.
Food would be
I think,
good.
I think healing will take about an hour.
Sounds good.
And even though he's not on map, he sees Yanis runs back into the kitchen, happy to see you guys have returned, and does his thing.
Has it been an hour since we checked for Alice's? It's an hour walk back.
Yeah,
right?
she was fine.
Who are we checking now?
I don't know anyone else get bit.
No, Ron stayed out of any clouds of haze and biting, so he
Yeah.
did
I
not
remember-
bite any.
I remember hearing a certain somebody got thrown off a wall. She's looking at Louis.
Right, by a giant. All right, to be fair, I got hurled and I didn't run. And fine, give me that stupid tree.
Hey, don't call my tree stupid.
Give me a lovely and very leafy shrub.
Okay, we put in Louis' blood.
You see a colorful bird come and sit on a windowsill and look at you guys.
Oh, Tina, your pet parrot's back.
Salty feathers.
You're
He
still
missed
alive,
you.
drat! You see he bobs up and down.
I hold out. So I got 4 cookies. I gave one to Uncle Yanis, and I broke one in half and gave half to Ellie. I'm gonna give the other half to Salty Feathers.
Yeah, you drop it and he goes and grabs it. Finally, some fucking good food. You see, he bobs his head up and down.
Hey, Yanis, do you want any cooked chicken or cooked bird for the veggie stew that you're making?
Oh, what? What?
No,
Yeah. Oh, you mean the bird there? Oh, to feed all of us. But hey,
We'll be
I'm
taking
tired
it.
of that.
Definitely not worth it.
I'm tired of him yapping. I've been hearing him on the boat. I've been hearing him here. I'm just saying.
That's my sister's bird. Don't you dare touch it.
You just see Ron's little grin just start turning into a very small pout.
Tongue flicker
Hey,
out.
we'll get you a
sniff it.
different bird.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Sister
we're
likes
gonna get
that one.
everybody a pet. Everybody's gonna have a pet.
Oh, goody.
Oh. Hopefully soon I'll be able to have a pet of my own. So whenever the dear lords grant us a level up.
Next level.
Uncle, I have the distinct suspicion we'll be taking a few days, so if you want to go into town with me, you're more than welcome. Chill. Whatever you...
Of course. We grab a few drinks, you know?
Oh, that's right. You haven't been to, maybe we can take in that night show again. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, night show.
Yeah, they have, what's the name of the place, guys? I'm forgetting
The
it.
Gilded Lily.
Right. Thank you, Addy. You got a whole cabaret of fantastical stuff. I walked on a rope with Addy over here. Made some coin. It was fun.
I needed some good laughs. 100%. Yes, of course. Let's do it. But all of you look like shit. You smell like shit. You should get some rest.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night's plan to go out, probably.
All right. What are you guys doing now? You guys kind of settled in. If you go down to the basement, it's just as you guys have left it. It's a bit more cleaned up. Yanis has done a little bit of work down here. And for the rest of this session, it's really up to you guys what you decide you want to talk about, plan for next session. To be honest, it'll be nice to have an idea of exactly what you guys are going to do, besides just going to read mana for the Hooded Lantern's sake.
We never know exactly what we're going to do.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first things first. We can get some water. I'll use prestidigitation and we can clean ourselves up a little.
What, we draw in the bath again? Doing that whole shtick?
I mean, either that or you can just get a washcloth and wash yourself down and I can get most of the dirt and grime. I mean, if you want to make a bath, you can draw it.
Brent, is there... So if I'm doing the the contamination spell on Kalina, can she be doing it on Tinu at the same time?
No,
Like a cure
you
train.
probably have to wait till she gets done. Yeah. It's not like apes sit on a tree and they each pick each other's back above.
Yeah, we're all braiding each other's hair.
Literally
It's a
nitpicking.
big long line.
That's
Alright,
such a funny.
Kalina, you probably want to cure Tinu's first.
Because you're going to be wiped.
Because she's going to be completely... If I do yours first, you're going to be completely wiped and probably not be able to do hers.
So I'm gonna try to help Tinu first.
I lay on the floor right here.
Oh, you're going to do it right here? Oh, okay.
I lay on the floor on top of our vampire. Protect me, Mr. Vampire.
Here?
Well, I don't want to get the bed. You don't want to get the beds dirty.
I mean, okay.
You remember when Hannah did didn't she pull
Yeah,
out something?
she pulled stuff out, didn't she?
True.
Oh, maybe we should do it
Yeah.
outside.
No, you're right.
Shouldn't you do it upstairs so that way you get
Yeah,
some
let's-
Yeah, let's maybe do that.
In case some
Yeah.
eye grow in weird places.
Sure, you don't gotta move yourselves out. I mean, we could say that, yeah, you guys go upstairs, find one of these abandoned rooms on the second floor, and, clear things out and get to work. But, there's nothing stopping you from, casting the spell, and, we could say that. Oops.
What do I have to do to cast it? Just use it? Or do I have to roll? I was reading it, but I didn't see anything.
It's a spell.
It takes
yeah,
an hour to cast.
Yeah,
Uses
so
the material.
Since you've already learned a spell, as long as nothing interrupts the casting time and whatever material components you need, you should be able to do it.
Yes.
All the ritual and incantations or stuff are kind of just like
Yep.
the mechanical stuff. You don't actually have to.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through this description every single time, but yeah, getting purged of contamination is an ordeal. It is agonizing.
Reading it, I hadn't seen any, it just says touch 1 hour, so I didn't know if I had to roll anything for it. That was all.
Nope, you're good to go. But, when you're, done, Kalina, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
I thought it was
Tinu.
me that did it.
Tinu does.
I'm sorry, Tina. My bad.
Oh, good.
Ugh. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you feel like shit. You feel awful.
Fair.
And likewise, Ron, if you do the same to Kalina, then Kalina, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yup.
I will. I'll wait till after dinner, so Tinu can pass out in her soup bowl.
Yeah, time flies. You can imagine a time lapse as the sun sets, and before you know it, it's dark out, and it's still a fairly warm evening, considering. You got Yanis brings each of you guys it looks like a soup with various leaves and vegetables in it and whatever spices he was able to take from Korgoth's ship. Doesn't taste like amazing, but it tastes pretty damn good considering what he had. And it's very comfort food, very good, it's like chicken noodle soup when you're sick, it's good stuff like that. And of course you have your rations per se, which you can also nibble on. After eating a meal, you guys are like satiated. You feel the weight of the past how many hours? Like
48.
Oh yeah, like nearly almost 48 hours just like hit ya like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to discuss, talk about, plan, do?
As everybody's settling to bed, because I don't know, I think Ron may be one of the only ones without exhaustion. He's gonna step outside, look at the stars, work on his star map a little bit before bed, and then once he comes downstairs, hoping everybody's asleep, he's going to try to talk with the spirit of the the delirium crystal that we have.
Actually, before that, because Torn doesn't have exhaustion either, if he notices Ron out, he would actually want to try to join him and have a conversation. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So while you're probably doing your star map, hey, mind if I sit for a second?
Absolutely. Ron would tell you that that's his plan too, once everybody's down there asleep. But go ahead.
Are you doing okay after what happened? I guess, God, it was just last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you see him focusing on the star map, and you can tell it's more than just something to pass time by. He is trying to essentially suppress the thoughts. And he'll look back at you and like, so yeah, apparently the whole issue at the Scar seems like it was after me more than any of us.
That is it still right to call him that friend of yours that you told us about?
Who, Haas?
Yeah. Or was he not your friend? Or did I misinterpret that?
No, think of him as an older brother / father. He was my mentor. For everything I can do, everything I currently am, learn it all from him. And, I guess what I could perceive as his last day, he's the one that kicked me out of the Fonzook and let the tentacles take him instead of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, friend is adequate term. He was more, but yes.
I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate the sentiment, but what he did for me is no different than what I do for anybody here at this point.
Yeah. Listen, I might I know you probably don't want to think about this, but I might need to ask of you a favor. You're the only one of the few people I think I can ask outside of old Zoya.
Lay it on me.
You said with all this going on, you saw Haas. If ever when you go through your dreams and interacting with this, which I'm unfortunately probably going to do in the future, if you ever see a large orc with brownish, reddish skin, long brown hair, beard, glasses. Would you mind letting me know? Either that or a large black dog.
Out of character, are you referring to your brother?
No, I am not.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I can. I will let you know that, outside of the limited interactions that have been unintentional, most of the time it involves a memory. So it would have to be in somebody's memory that I see a dog or a large orc with glasses.
Maybe in the future, but if this, all I'll say is that if this force, these tentacles are bringing people it's captured against us, it's something I hope you never see.
Huh?
And if you need to talk to anybody about, I may not be the most knowledgeable of this magical stuff and all the things with the old gods and all this, but I'm willing to listen, and if you just need to vent, or
it's appreciated. I mean, I think the general consensus is we're gonna take a few days, and I need to go see old Zoya. Maybe she has answers why what happened at the scar happened, particularly with me, my sleepwalking, and actually unable to determine me not being able to determine what's real and what's not. That part's the first. So, hopefully she has the answer, and if this veil's thinning as much as I unfortunately think it is, then either A, it's going to become more common, or B, our excursions into Drakkenheim are only going to get more dangerous. So, I think if she can provide any of the answers, I know she said last time the crater holds it, but I think that's still not in our immediate future. So,
well, you still got that crystal, right? Maybe there'll be something in there too. Maybe there'll be something in there.
See what it has to say, if it'll even speak to me, and
Do you want me to try to stay up a bit, help if anything happens? I could maybe try to shake you out of it.
if it comes to that, absolutely. My only request is that I can borrow a glove while I hold on to it from the mining kit. He just kind of points at wiggles his claws.
I think that can be arranged fairly easily.
So,
yeah, unless there's something more, Torn will just sit with Ron as he does his star map, and then when he goes to do the crystal, he'll be there as well, just in case something happens.
he only spent like 30 minutes doing the star map just to see if any constellation changes, things like that, making sure his crap's up to date. So, and then, yeah, I'll make my way downstairs to, I don't know, whichever bedroom doesn't have the ladies in it. Looks like
Sure.
the middle northern one.
Yeah, are you doing anything down here, Kolobati?
Oh no, he's gone in his own dream.
Yeah, Kolobati usually winds up trancing in the main room because all the rooms, the bedrooms are
True.
occupied.
Got it. You're sitting Indian style, legs crossed on the ground, trancing. I haven't forgot about this. I'm still building this out, but
You can wait if there's no response.
Those black books that had that ancestry tree, they're still there. Just pointing it out, I haven't forgot about that. But anyway, you guys go into this room and you pull out this crystal. It's about the size of maybe both of your fists put together. It has a dull glow to it. What do?
Well, the word is, and this is what Ron will stay torn to. The word is that it can speak telepathically. I wonder if that's how Nathaniel knew the names of the crystals that were given to him. So
when I talked to him, when he was confronting me about the battle we had with the other members of the Colds, it seemed that he to imply that that's how he figured it out.
So Rum will kind of stare at it, concentrate, try to see if he can get a similar rhythm to what was going on with the crater.
Okay.
See if he can find, a delirium pulse, so to speak.
You have this crystal glowing in your hand. It's the only thing that's illuminating this room as Ron stands or sits on the bed over here watching you. You close your eyes and focus in on it. You feel the presence of something there. It feels almost like someone right next to you or over your shoulder watching you. That's the feeling you get holding this thing. Something is there.
Then Ron will out loud, hello. So he will
Oh. Hold on a second.
No, you're fine.
You feel an energy of an emotional energy of resentment. Torin, you see the crystal begins to glow more vibrant, illuminating the room. But nobody responds to your hello.
My name is Ron. I feel like I'm playing with an Ouija board here. Can you hear me? Can you respond?
Yes.
Oh,
And Torrent sees Ron jump.
Yeah, it just belts out in your mind. You don't hear anything, Torin, but you see Ron visibly jump.
What's your name?
What do you want, non-believer?
Have you been to the crater?
There's a long silence. I'm running an insight check, Ron.
Absolutely.
The voice sounds familiar in your mind. It sounds feminine, demanding. You feel this intense resentment radiating out through you from this crystal. It reminds you of that lady that was with those group of cultist followers that you met at the Chapel of St. Brenna. There's a long silence. Then you hear, "Yes."
Well, I guess before I ask you any of that, who's your emotion aimed at? Me or yourself? And this is not accusatory.
It's not accusatory, but even just saying that, you get no response.
Well, you say I'm a non-believer. What did you find at the crater? What did Lucretia Matthias show you there?
The future is at the crater. If you want to know, seek her out.
Where can I find her?
The monastery. Saint Selena's. Matthias knows the future.
Right, you said Saint Selena?
Yes.
Okay. And would you be willing to show me what you've seen?
I cannot. Take me to her, to Matthias. She can show you everything.
Can I insight that, Brent?
Sure.
Malicious intent.
The crystal has a very sly grin on it.
All right. All you get is her words. You don't get anything else.
Yeah. Fair enough. It fares. So, you'd rather we return you to Lucretia Matthias herself instead of Nathaniel?
Yes.
And Rob will just look up at Torn, because this is all being spoken aloud, just in hushed tones for Torn to hear.
Yeah, Torn hears it, but he just doesn't hear the responses.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm getting a one-sided conversation from Ron's
Yeah.
words. Okay.
And you see just Ron nod his head yes at you.
Nathaniel Flint. He can guide you.
Him and I no longer see eye to eye.
Open your mind to believing. Flint will give you another chance. If
Only Matthias knows the truth. At the crater. Go to her. Your questions will be answered.
Does Torn have the delirium chest still?
I guess, unless somebody said otherwise.
Yeah, I should.
Ron will look up at you. Can you open that chest for me?
All right, and Thorin will do so.
Ron will put the crystal in there, take his glove off. Okay, I'm done.
All
The
right.
crystal dims to like a really low glow. You close the chest. And that's that.
You good?
Yeah. Not as much help as I would hope, but you know, it's either hey, pursue the faith, or B, hey, here's Lucretia Matthias at the monastery in St. Selena. So I guess in the eventuality that we go and find her or talk to her, I'm sure there's gotta be something that leads that way. But
I can guide you there.
Wait, he's not holding it anymore.
True. You hear that echo in your mind. Wrong.
and apparently not holding on to it doesn't sever the connection.
After a lingering moment, you don't feel the connection anymore. But yeah, you get a sense that dropping this thing into a box doesn't immediately sever this connection.
I didn't think it would. Let me phrase it. Ron didn't think it would. It's more of the I've asked all the questions I need to, and anything else that. Yeah.
They gave you a pro tip.
So, but then I'll share all the information over with Torrin too, just so it's not repetitive.
Well, that's at least a location is better than nothing, but that's
Is that it can guide us. With your previous experience in Drakkenheim, do you know where that monastery is?
Brent, could I roll history or?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a history. I mean, maybe we'll see.
So that's a 19.
19. You would recall that St. Selena's monastery was probably one of the more popular monasteries and chapels in Drakkenheim. Besides the clerics at the Cathedral of St. Vitrovio, you will know that the High Flamekeeper did tend to St. Selena's monastery, and she was quite popular. I would say that, you know its general location. The best way to get there, that's a whole other issue.
Yeah. General location, I have a decent idea, but way to get there and what might get in our ways on the way there, not
you know
so much.
It's in the inner city. Tell you that much.
When we're ready to make that trek for whatever reason, or we just eventually run out of shit to do, because so far that seems like that's gonna happen, tomorrow. We'll add it to the list if we can at least get to the general area, the crystal can guide us the rest of the way.
I think one thing's for certain, once we're done with Reed Manor, I think we need to look into a more definite way of getting into the inner city. A lot of the stuff we're looking for is starting to end up there.
I have a way, but it's resource heavy, so we can get across the water. You know, I can allow everybody to walk on the water to get across, as long as it's not too rough. So the only issue is, you know, that each way consumes a spell slot, and I'm very limited currently on how many times I'll be able to do that. So unless we're planning on taking some sleep in Drakkenheim overnight.
I got you.
So we could make it work. But
All right. Okay. With that, assuming no one, anybody else wants to do anything?
I got something, Brent.
Sure. What's up?
That happened that same night. Alice, before you go to sleep, Louis would say, "Are you still awake?"
That's one way to answer it.
Sleep, then.
She goes quiet for a second, then she goes, mm-hmm.
That whole thing that River was on about.
Which part?
That's two people I've talked to so far that call this Elias fella a drunken Giacomo.
Mm-hmm.
You worried at all about your man?
He's not
measuring up.
I don't know. Everybody has something to say about everybody, and until you meet them and hear what they have to say, and can't really make a decision. I don't feel like.
And that Friedrich fella, right? He has some for you, right?
Probably a whole lot of problems.
But you want access to him, right?
I do. I'm sure there's others that do as well. But getting rid of him, I'll no longer be necessary to the Academy. And they'll find less violent ways to get rid of me.
Well, if you just want to talk to the man, the fastest way would be through them. But that means reneging on the deal. That means we don't go to the bank tomorrow. And that means when we show up at Oscars, everybody's got to be on the same page that we're not there to play patty cake with a malfeasant mage. It sounds like River and the thieves both want the same thing. So how do you want to play it? We relying on your Drexel fella?
I think at least enough to get a conversation with them. It's the only one we haven't really had a chance to hear their thoughts on.
Alright, just wanted your opinion about it.
You're not going back on the deal with the bank, Louis.
I'm gonna talk to somebody tomorrow about contract reading. I'm pissed at that.
You usually get up early, don't you?
Don't have much reason to stay in bed.
I mean, it's sleep is amazing. What are you talking about? But
And you're a lazy butt for staying in. You gotta be doing stuff with your life. Don't you have? Do you need to comb all that nonsense?
what if I not? What have I not been doing something with my life since I got? You're mean.
Oh,
She'll pout at you.
Yeah. I'm mean. He bops it in the face, but he holds it. I'm just worried for you, lass. Don't want you
I
making
know.
friends who can't help you.
Yeah, it kind of didn't work out for you, did it?
No, it didn't.
Well, wake me up in the morning. I got something to do with my life that I've just been wasting away as a hostage to a family that wanted to use me.
Yeah. I'll get you up. Get you nice and fed with some stew from my uncle that's been tortured for years. And he throws the pillow back at you.
He'll just grab it and hold it. And no, I'll go up with you to get food.
Good. You can help me figure out what the hell Giannis is going to buy in the market. He's going to burn my pocketbook.
Well, no, I'll go get food from you. I gotta make sure the twins are fed.
All right, then.
I got something to tell them, too.
Right. Well, good night.
Just like as she feels like she'll stay awake long enough just until she hears that like sigh that people make when they're like getting ready to fall asleep, and she'll toss the pillow back at him, and then immediately fall asleep.
Oh, Brent, you're muted.
There we go. Okay. Yeah,
There
you
you
guys are you guys are out. I did send a message directly to Kolobati and Roll20. Can you do that for me real quick? And then we'll end the session on that.
Secrets.
All right, let's see who I got to deal with all the. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Kolobati. So the place settles down. You can hear people sleeping, snoring. And eventually, oh, sorry, why is this not loading? There we go. Okay. You begin to hear whispers around you, Kolobati, calling out your name. You know these to be a congregation of a bunch of entities, but the ones that are tethered to you the most comes above the foray. You open your eyes to see sitting in front of you, cross-legged, is him again.
My lord.
1 second.
What have you discovered?
We had a long conversation with the local contact for the Amethyst Academy.
Continue.
And they are looking to retake the tower and are seeking allies. So we do a few more things for
Von Dragons.
they did mention the long-known mage-born lineage of the Von Drakens.
They mentioned it. Understood. What do you plan on doing about it?
Well, since it is, considering they also mentioned knowing about a malfeasant wizard who may have worked with that bloodline. Which means his research may have more information on it.
This Ghost Weaver.
Not the Ghost Weaver. A Von Lichten.
Ah. What about Yogan?
We know he maintains a shrine north of the city. We are working with possibilities of getting easier access across the river, which means you'll have easier access to this shrine. We have a few excursions we'll be performing, especially to that side of the city, broaching a detour to this shrine to inquire about this Ghost Weaver is definitely on the table.
I keep stressing this. He's responsible for my death, my bones, who I was. He knows where they lay.
And that may come up in our conversation when we approach this Ghost Weaver.
You see he looks towards the doors where everybody else is sleeping, looks at you. You see he fidgets a bit, and while he sits there, you notice a puddle of blood just leaking into the floorboards below him. You've noticed that at this point, the more blood you see, the more stressed this Romero seems to be.
The others, across the view in the Shadowlands, are brothers and sisters, are kin. They wait with anticipation. For him to be brought down. For the Von Drakens to get the curse that is due to them. The Queen. Osaria, she wishes to speak to you. She wants to play games, machinations, stuff that we don't have time for. You understand that, right?
I understand that all viewpoints are necessary.
All viewpoints are necessary.
Well, I know that this Ghost Weaver has survived for centuries. I don't wish to antagonize him upon our immediate introduction. I don't know if we have the power to take on someone that with that level of experience yet.
When will you know?
That is why I want to get a conversation with him first to see what he knows.
All these others, humans and lizards you're traveling with, are they on board?
Some of them will be, some of them won't.
You know, when we used to travel the forest west of our freely, we would come across humans, orcs, tieflings, more. They would promise us things. And those things would never come to fruition. Just like Von Draken promised us to leave us to our lands, and then came and took them. You trust these people around you? Or will they
At the moment,
turn when they get close to what they want?
At the moment, I trust them with my life because I have to, and they trust me with theirs.
Will you not make my mistake and trust them until it's too late?
I do not know.
They're the reason we are almost dead, Kolabati. They're the reason all of our citadels and everything that we have built as elves, pure in blood, are in ruins. Don't wait until they have all the power and stab you in the back like Yog and Weaver did to us. Where are you heading next, sister?
There is a malfeasant on the north end of the city. He provides supplies for several of the factions here. But he has research which the Academy covets. It would get us more into their good graces to put us higher in their esteem, so that we eventually would probably be the ones asked to assist them in retaking their tower and seeing what secrets lie within.
Like the other human that came and spoke to you. The one dressed well. You told me that they may have information on Von Draken's tomb. Right?
That you did.
That's where I lie. Will you work with this malfeasant mage to get what we need?
I don't know if we'll necessarily be working with the malfeasant, but if he has any information, I'm sure it will be amongst his notes, and if not, I'm sure we could probably extract it from his soul.
Very well. The Queen wants to speak with you. But I tell you, she will lead you astray. Take her words cautiously. And then the other one, despair. She cares nothing about. She cares nothing but.
But I
You can
believe
tell he wants to say a word, but you get a sense that he's catching himself almost in his own logic trap, and he just shuts his mouth.
that one, I believe, is intimately linked with the twins as she gestures towards one of the doors.
You see he looks in that direction. He then looks at you.
I will be with you. For now. Is there anything you would like to tell me?
Just what I've already said. And I'll let you know of any further information or research gains.
You see he just stares at you, and then slowly fades into nothing. But this time, leaving a pretty sizable pool of blood on the ground.
I'll just work my prestidigitation to clean as much as I can.
You know, it takes a good minute. But you're able to go ahead and make it look decent. There's just kind of a slight dark stain. Maybe if somebody stared at it long enough, they would think twice, but that's about it.
Ron might be able to smell it, but ethereal blood stains on the floor.
All right. And with that, we'll end this session and start next session with I mean, you guys can go ahead and roll up a long rest right now if you want to get that out the way.
Hell yeah.
All right.
And we are on to our next mission. And that's it. Goodbye, stream. See you later. All right.
Until next
See you
time.
next week.
Bye, stream.
Night.